Hi everyone. So just like the previous GATE 2018 Aptitude PYQs, now we are going to bring GATE 2019 all branches PYQs. The branch names are mentioned here. So every question is explained in detail. So every question that was asked in GATE 2019 Aptitude question paper that has been solved in this video. So we received a lot of great response from you guys for GATE 2018 video. So within 2 days only I have recorded GATE 2019 Aptitude. So that much amount of motivation I got from your comments. So these were the comments, like people were saying that I am solving the problems by the intuition, like how I am solving the problem. These kind of comments really motivates us. Like we are working as well, we are going to the corporate as well. So still we can manage the time if we get these kind of response. So this really motivated me, and I just gave my everything to just produce this 4 hours long video for GATE 19 PYQs as well. So every question in the same manner, every question will be solved in very depth, and you will not have to remember a single formula. Without applying any formula, you will be able to solve all the problems. And the way we solved English comprehension problem, the complete approach is given in the lecture. Okay, so these were very overwhelming for me. I felt very good reading those comments. So yeah, if you liked the lecture, if just watch the complete video, if you found it helpful, please do comment your views. So it really motivates. So these were the comments that made me to record this video again for GATE 2019, right? So now just there is this data from GATE 2018 video. So like people are watching the video but they are not subscribing. Okay, so you can hit the subscribe button, yeah, just it's below the video only. Just click on that. You can click the subscribe button. Okay, so it would mean a lot to us. It would give us motivation. That's the thing. So currently we are having 2.24k subs. So after this video, in next 1 hour, next 24 hours, sorry, in next one day, I expect 100 likes. I can expect that much, yeah, not much. 100 likes and 1.5k views, and we are expecting by 20th Jan we can expect 2.5k subs. Okay, 260 more subs we need. 260. When I am recording this video, we are having 2.24k. By the end of the day, I guess it will be 2.3k. So in 4 days, we are expecting nearly 250 subs, right? We can expect that much. So yeah, if you found it helpful, then only please do share it with your friends and juniors. Or this aptitude is common for all, so you can share it with all the guys: civil, mechanical, electrical, etc, electronics, instrumentation, biomedical, all the branches. Okay, so let's move on to the video. It will help you a lot in your final examination. Okay, let's see the first question now. So let's see this question. I'm not sure if the bus that has been booked will be able to blank all the students. So what do you think what this guy want to say? That he's not sure if the bus will be able to have all the students or not, right? So what would be the appropriate word? Accommodate. He's not sure if the bus he booked will be able to accommodate all the students, right? Not sit. Accommodate means like somewhat like to fill, but fill word will be used for mainly liquids. Okay, uh, I'm not sure if I'll be able to fill the glass. Okay, and these kind of examples will be used here. Accommodate will be used, right? So a group of students that will be accommodated or not. Now second one, the passenger were angry with angry always with will be used. With angry with will be used. Okay, what do I mean to say? With angry with will be used. Always. Okay, will be used. Like if we say I'm angry on you, that sentence is wrong. I'm angry with you. I'm angry with her. I'm angry with myself. I'm angry with everyone. So after angry, always with will be used. And there are other words as well, like pleased. I am pleased with you, not at you, on you, by you. No, I am pleased with you. I am pleased with her. I am pleased with your work. So after pleased as well, with is used. So there are these kind of examples, right? Now the missing number in the given sequence is okay. So if I see this question directly in the exam, what I will think? Okay, what can happen? So this feels like a cube of 7. So we remember the 7 cube, right? Then I can think this would be cube of something. So this feels like a 11 cube. I don't know which number of cube is this number. Which number of cube is this number? I don't know. So I can find the cube root. So I will take my calculator and find the cube root of this, and it would come out to be 17 as far as I remember. Yeah, it would come out to be 17. So 7, 11 dash 17. So they are talking about prime numbers. First 7, then 11, and then 17. What is the prime number we missed? That is 13. So what will be 13 cube? In the end, it will have 7. So this will be the answer. 13 cube. I did not calculate the 13 cube. I just put option C. How did I do that? 13 into 13 into 13. So what will be your last number? 3 into 3, 9. And 9 into 3, 7. In the last, you will have 7. So only option there is 2197. But in the exam, you calculate. Okay. In the exam, you calculate the cube of 13. Okay. Then only you answer. So that would come out to be 2197. If you don't have time, you are doing this question in the last only, then you can directly put the option. Okay. Well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. So fourth question. It takes 2 hours for a person to mow the lawn. Okay. And Y can mow the lawn in 4 hours. How long will it take X and Y if they work together to mow the lawn? Okay. So it takes 2 hours. We are talking about X now. Okay. X. So in 2 hours, he can do one work. In 2 hours, he can do one work. Like mowing the lawn. Mowing the lawn is one work. Mowing the lawn is one work. So in 2 hours, he can do one work. In 1 hour, he can do half work. Right? Similar with Y. What's with Y? In 4 hours, he can do one work. In 4 hours, he can do one work. So in 1 hour, he would be able to do 1 by 4 work. Now, both working together. Both are working together. So in 1 hour, this will do half work, and in 1 hour, this will do 1 by 4 work. So both working together, in 1 hour, how much work will be done? 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 work. Simply 3 by 4 work will be done. Right? So for 3 by 4 work, you need 1 hour. So for one work, how much time you would need? 4 by 3 hours. That's it. How much time you would need? 4 by 3 hours. 4 by 3 hours is equals to how much minute? 4 by 3 into 60. 80 minutes. You would need 80 minutes. Did you understand the way I approach the problem? Look, X and 2 hours is equals to 1 work. That means in 1 hour, he can do half work. Similarly, Y can do in 1 hour 1 by 4 work. Both are working together. In 1 hour, we would be done with the 3 by 4 work. So basically in 3 by, doing the 3 by 4 work, you need 1 hour. So for doing the 1 work, how much hour you would need? 4 by 3 hours. That's it. 4 by 3 into 60. 80 minutes you would need. Okay, no formula, nothing. Simple concept we will go. We will go with the concept. Work time, every formula we will be solving with the concept. We will never apply any formula as far as it is feasible. Right? If there is only option to apply the formula, then only we will apply. Okay. So newspaper are constant source of delight and recreation for me. If I read the newspaper, it gives me delight and my mind becomes creative. The only trouble, the even trouble, it doesn't make any sense. Even is gone. The only trouble is that I read dash many of them. So both words are suitable there. Quite and too. Both words are suitable. I read quite many of them. I read too many of them. So which one will come? So he is saying trouble. Trouble is giving the sense of negative. Okay. So if I am saying that I read quite many of the newspapers, that means I read a lot of newspapers, but that's fine. That's not a problem. If I am saying I read quite many of the newspaper, that means I read a lot of newspapers, but that's fine. That's not a problem. And if I am saying I read too many of the newspaper, that means that's a problem. We can take more example. I ate too many chocolates. That means it's a problem. If I'm saying I ate too many chocolates, that means I ate a lot of chocolate which I shouldn't have. So that shows the trouble, that shows the negative sense. And if I say I ate quite many of chocolates, I ate quite many of the chocolates. So that's not a problem. I ate a lot, but it's not an issue. So here there is an issue because he is saying that there is a trouble. So the only trouble is that I read too many of them. Because of that, D would come. Okay. Quite gives the positive meaning and this gives the negative meaning. Okay. How many integers are there between 100 and 1000 of all whose digits are even? Okay. So digits can be 2, 4, 6, 8 and 0. And 3 digits number will be there between 100 to 1000. All the numbers will be 3 digits, right? 101, 102, dot 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 998, 999. All the digits will be 3 digits number, right? So we have 3 space. Tell me how many possibilities are there? Is repetition allowed? Yeah, repetition allowed. There can be number 888 where all 8 are there. So repetition is allowed here, right? So tell me how many possibilities are there? For making it a 3 digit number, how many possibilities are there? You can have 2, you can have 4, you can have 6, you can have 8. If you are having 0, that means it would not make 3 digit number. If 0 is here and I put 4 here and 6 here, it would be 2 digit number only, right? So 0 probability is not there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 chances are there. And here repetition is allowed. I just told you this 888 or 808. Here 8 is also repeated. 404, 4 are also repeated, right? Here how many possibilities are there? 5. And here also 5. So 4 into 5 into 5, 100. Total 100 possibilities are there. 4 into 5 into 500. Okay, well and good. Very easy question of PNC. This should have been solved. The ratio of number of boys who participated in an examination is 4:3. The total percentage of candidate who passed the exam is 80%. The percentage of girl who passed is 90%. The percentage of boy who passed. In these kind of examination, in these kind of questions, always solve by the example. So ratio is 4:3. So I would take, there are total 700 students. Let's assume there are total of 700 students because we are playing with the percentage. If you are playing with the percentage and ratio, you can take any example. Why did I take 700? Because it would be easy for me, right? 4 plus 3 is 7. So I just took the example 700 students. So there are total 700 students. Assumption. This is assumption. Assume. So boys will be 400 and girls will be 300. The total percentage of candidate who passed the examination is 80%. So 80% only passed. So 700 into 80%. That means 560 students passed. 560 students passed. And the percentage of girls who passed is 90%. So out of these 300, 90% girls passed. So girls who passed. Out of these 300, 90% of the girl passed the examination. So that would be 270 girls. So there were this 560 pass student. Out of these, girls have been 270. So how many boys would be there? 560 minus 270, right? So it would be 210. Sorry. My maths is weak. I would prefer these things rather than solving in my brain. I would prefer doing it with your calculator so that I don't do any mistake. So 56 minus 27, 290. Although it's a very easy calculation, but I prefer doing it in the calculator. Okay, 290. Like I do a lot of calculation mistakes, so I prefer doing it on the calculator only. So 290 boys passed. So these are the girls. 290 boys passed. So the percentage of boy who passed is, so percentage of boys from boys only. So out of 400, 290 boys passed. So percentage of boys passing, that would be, out of 400 only 290 passed, right? So answer would be 29 by 4. So 72.50%. Okay, what did we do? Very easy question. There could be 700 students. Out of those, 400 boys, 300 girls. So total candidate who passed from all the 700, that was 80%. That means 560 students passed the examination. Now 90% of the girl passed the examination. So there were 300 girls. Of 300, from 300 girls, 90% passed the examination. So 300 into 90. So 270 girls passed the examination. So total student who passed was 560. So 560 minus 270, that means 290 boys passed the examination. So total boys were there, that were 400. So 290 by 400, that would be the percentage of boys who passed the examination. Okay, because boys don't study seriously. Boys will top, but they will not pass in higher amount. Okay, no, I'm not anti-feminist. Okay, don't consider me that. But the passing percentage is always more for girls and less for boys. But the topper generally is a guy. In less cases, we see girls being the topper, but girls also can be the topper. Don't consider me anti-feminist, please. Okay, even my laptop is disobeying me, so I will put the charger. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. Let's see this problem. Okay, this is actually we can say good problem. So an award-winning study by a group of researchers suggests that men are as prone to buying on impulse as women, but women feel more guilty about shopping. What do you mean by as prone to? That means both have the same tendency. Man and woman both have the same tendency. That is, they can buy things on impulse. Okay, let's just assume I see something. Okay, I see this remote control car. I will buy it. I will buy it very soon. Okay, what is the price? 500. Okay, give me that remote control car. But in case of woman, they will go home and they will think, okay, my age is 23. Why did I buy this car? But guy will not think. Guy will play with that car, even if he is 23 or 30. So this is what they are meaning to say here. Okay, that both guys and women buy the things on impulse, but women feel more guilty about shopping. Okay, so which of the statements can be inferred from the given text? So here all the statements are same. Man, woman indulge in buying on impulse. Man, woman indulge in buying on impulse. So all the statements given are same, but here they have some, all, few, many. Although all of them have similar kind of meaning, but let me tell you what is the difference between them. So there is a word couple. Couple is used for two people. That couple of guys are coming. That means two guys are coming. So couple is used for two people. Couple of guys are coming. Then if people are more than two, we will use few. Okay, few guys are coming. That means more than two guys are coming. Few guys are coming. It can be 3, 4. If it is more than few, that means we will use some. Now I can't quantify it. Some guys are coming. I can't say the guys would be 10 or 20, but it will be more than few. if I'm saying few guys are coming, and if I'm saying some guys are coming. For few, if I'm saying 3 guys are coming, for some it would be more than 3. So couple, few, some, and then many. Then comes the word several, and then comes all. Are you getting my point? All guys are coming, that means how that all the available guys are coming, basically. As much guys were there, all are coming. So couple, few, some, many, several, all. This is the increasing order. Now, whenever any research is done, for any research, it generalize some only. Okay, as per this research, as per that research, uh, uh, we took the votes of some people, right? So I can't say that like I do a research, so there I got to know that 90% of the people like my teaching. So like this wouldn't be an appropriate example. So whenever there is any research done, that would be on some of the people. Like you can't say all man and woman indulge in buying on impulse. So here it is, read the statement again. An award-winning study by a group of researchers suggests that men are as prone to buying on impulse as women, but women feel more guilty about shopping. So they are talking about some men and some women. So that would be our threshold point. Okay, so here we can fix it that some woman and some man. So the best possible option is some. But these kind of things we don't really know before the examination. After the examination, I see this question, then I can think about it. But in the examination, there is high probability that we will get these kind of questions wrong. So I would prefer dropping these kind of questions. But there you think, okay, I will get 2 marks. What if I put an option and get 2 marks there? So this thing happen in the examination. But if you feel like you are getting very low score, then I don't think you should put any guess. But if you think I'm getting very high score and there is high probability that I will get rank under 50, then you should put a guess here, because what if you get it right? From rank 40, you are going to get 15. If not 15, I would say from 40 you can get around 30 rank in within 2 marks. And if it gets wrong, from 40 you would slip to 60. So that would not make much trouble for you. But uh, if you are getting very less marks, you shouldn't mess up it. Okay, so yeah, so for any research, for any survey, always the result is for some people. You can't say for all, you can't say for several, many, or couple, or few, but some people. It generalizes some people only. So for research or any survey, there can be word that can be used for survey. For survey as well, couple, only some will come. Okay, so some man and woman indulge in buying on impulse. Now let's see the ninth question. Two set are given x and y. We construct a set z for all possible fractions where the numerator belongs to set x and denominator belongs to set y. So in set z, what we are writing? X by y. Numerator belongs to set x, numerator, and denominator belongs to set y. Set y. The product of elements having minimum and maximum value in the set z is. So for minimum value, x by y, it will be minimum when this x is minimum and y is maximum, right? And it will be maximum when this x is maximum and y is minimum, right? Got my point? If the numerator is minimum and denominator is maximum, that means the value will be minimum. And if the numerator is maximum and denominator is minimum, that means the value will be maximum. So what can be the possible maximum value? Sorry, minimum value. So numerator should be minimum and denominator should be maximum, 1 by 4. Here numerator should be maximum and denominator should be minimum. 1 by 4 into 3 by 2. That would be 3 by 8. Okay. So 5 people are there. Meeta, Ganga, Rekha, Lakshmi, Sana. Ganga is taller than both Rekha and Lakshmi. So Ganga is taller than Rekha. Ganga is taller than Lakshmi. Lakshmi is taller than Sana. Lakshmi is taller than Sana. So in one line I can write it. Meeta is taller than Ganga. So Meeta is taller than Ganga. So this is the scene, but you don't know the ranking of Rekha. Where would Rekha come? That ranking is not there. She can come here as well, she can come here as well, or she can come here as well. Okay, nothing is mentioned about Rekha. So let's see the first statement. Lakshmi is taller than Rekha. Can you say that? No, Rekha can come here as well. Okay, if Rekha comes here, that means Lakshmi is taller than Rekha. But what if Rekha comes here? Then Rekha will be taller than Lakshmi. So you can't comment about it, right? So this is not certain. So we can't comment on this. Rekha is shorter than Meeta. Yeah, Meeta will certainly, if Meeta is taller than Ganga and Ganga is taller than Rekha, then certainly Meeta will be taller than Rekha. So Rekha will be shorter than Meeta. Are you getting my point? That Geeta is shorter than Meeta. Geeta or Ganga? Ganga. Ganga is shorter than Meeta. And Rekha is shorter than Ganga. That means certainly Rekha will be shorter than Meeta. Rekha is taller than Sana. Can't comment. What if Rekha comes here? Right? So you can't comment. Sana is shorter than Ganga. Sana is shorter than Ganga. Yeah. Ganga is taller. Sana is shorter than Ganga. Yes. So only 2 and 4. Option C is correct. Well and good. So these kind of questions are easy. We can attempt it during the examination. Right? Let's move on to the next set. The strategy that company use or uses. Company is using. Who is using? Company is using. Company is singular. That's why we will use uses. The strategy that company uses to sell its product dash how to house marketing. So the strategy that company uses to sell its product include or includes or including. There is no meaning of including. The strategy that company uses to sell its products including house to house marketing. No meaning of that. Include house to house marketing. But whether it will be include or includes, it will be include only. Because we are talking about strategy now. The strategies include house to house marketing. The strategies that company uses to sell its product. So we can drop this line. We are here. What we are talking about? We are talking about the strategies. The strategies include house to house marketing. Did you understand it? The strategies that company uses to sell its product include house to house marketing. If here strategy was written strategy, then includes will be there. This S will be there, but here S will not be there. So this is the final answer. Okay, because here we are talking about strategies. So this option, this blank is for strategies and this blank is for company. Okay, so company is singular, so we will use uses there, and since this strategies are plural, so we will not put S there. So include. The boat arrived at dawn. Okay, so for morning and evening you will use in. I am arriving in the morning. Okay, I am arriving in the evening. But for down is the time before the evening. Okay, before the evening, the time before the evening. No, sorry, not time before the evening, after the evening and before the night, that we call down, as far as I know, right? This is what down is. Yeah, this is what down is, as far as I remember. Yeah, so before down always at is used. Okay, and there is one more use similar to down where at is used as well. Okay, I forgot that word, let me google it. But for morning and evening, always remember in will be used. In the morning. Okay, morning. In the morning. In the evening. For before morning and evening, in will be used. So there is similar word for dawn as well. Okay, so just google it. So there are two words, dawn and dusk. Dawn and dusk. So this time is before the morning. Okay, before the morning. अरे यार morning की spelling क्या लिखा है? and this time is after the evening. Dawn shows the first sunlight, okay, and before both of them at will be used, at dawn, at dusk, okay, before both of them at will be used. Dawn is the time before the morning. I previously said that it is the time after the evening, but that's not the case. Dawn is the time before the morning, and for the time after the evening, that is dusk, this time known as dusk. Okay, so I got confused between these two words, dawn and dusk. Okay, so dawn is the time before the morning, dusk is the time after the evening, and before both of them at will be used, and before morning and evening in will be used. In the morning, in the evening, at dawn, at dusk. Okay, well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. The next problem is very similar to the previous problem that we have solved. Third one. It would take 4 hours to complete a production order, and another machine takes 2 hours to complete the same order. The same kind of question was there in electrical question paper, right? 4 hours to complete a work. That means 1 hour to complete 1 by 4 work, and 2 hours to complete the same order. That means 1 hour to complete 1 by 2 work. In 2 hours, he would complete 1 work. That means in 1 hour, he would complete half work. And in 4 hours, he would complete 1 work. That means in 1 hour, he would complete 1 by 4 work. So if both work simultaneously, both work together at their respective constant rate, the time taken to complete the same order is. So if both are working together, that means in 1 hour, they would do 3 by 4 work. That means for one work, they would take 4 by 3 hours. So that basically 3 by 4 work will be done in 1 hour. So one work will be done in 4 by 3 hours, right? So it would take 4 by 3 hours. Let's see this question. 5 different books PQRST are to be arranged on a shelf. The books R and S are to be arranged first and second respectively from the right side of the shelf. Okay. Fourth we are doing. So this is the shelf, let's assume. So there are 5 spaces. So they are saying that R and S are to be arranged first and second respectively from the right side of the shelf. So position of R is fixed, position of S is fixed. That's it. Position of both of them is fixed. Respectively from the number of different orders in which PQT may be arranged. Very easy question. PQT, 3 books are there. So here you can put 3 chances are there, then there is 2 chances is there, then there is 1 chances. So 3 factorial, that would be simple answer 6 ways. Okay. You can write down the 6 ways as well, I guess. PQT, then QPT, then TQP, QTP, then PTQ, and TPQ. These are the 6 ways. In that manner you can fix. Okay, because these are fixed only. The books R and S are to be arranged first and second respectively from the right side of the shelf. Okay, so R is first and S is second. These are the 6 ways. Fifth question. When he did not come home, she dashed him lying dead on the roadside somewhere. Okay, so that guy did not come home. So now she is thinking that he might have been dead. The guy did not come home. Now the girl is thinking that the guy might have been dead. She is our mom, right? When we don't pick up her phone, she thinks that my guy is in trouble. So she is our mom. They are talking about our mother. So yeah, so when he did not come home, she pictured him lying dead on the roadside, right? If you don't pick up the call of your mother, she would be very tensed that what is my guy doing, right? So when he didn't come home, she pictured him lying dead on the roadside somewhere. Looked? No, you can't use looked. Notice? No meaning of. Concluded? So concluded and picture, you can be a bit of like confused between concluded and pictured. But concluded is something that is confirmed. Concluded, that is my conclusion that he must have been dead. But she is just picturing, she is just imagining. So pictured will be used. Okay. Let's see the 6th one. 4 people are standing in line facing you. So I am here, 4 people are standing in a line facing me. That means 4 are standing in line like this. Here one guy, second guy, third guy, fourth guy. It's not that one guy, second guy, third guy, fourth guy. All are facing me. That means one guy, second guy, third guy, fourth guy. Right? Rahul, Mahadev, sorry, Matthew, Rahul, Matthew, Seema and Lohit. One is an engineer, doctor, teacher, and another is dancer. Okay, engineer, doctor, teacher, dancer. You are told that Matthew is not standing next to Seema. So one by one we will write. First thing, Matthew, Seema, this is not possible, or Seema, Matthew, this is not possible. So MS, SM, this is not possible. Second, there are 2 people standing between Lohit and the engineer. So there are total 4 people and 2 people are standing between Lohit and engineer. So this has to be one of the case, engineer Lohit or Lohit engineer, right? Between Lohit and engineer there are 2 people. So it cannot be that here there is Lohit, here there is engineer, and there can be 2 people. There can't be 2 people. So between Lohit and engineer there are 2 people. So this would be the case, that Lohit engineer is there, engineer Lohit is there, from right or from left. We can't really comment from right or left, but at one of the side Lohit will be standing and one of the side engineer will be standing. Third, Rahul is not the doctor. Rahul is not the doctor because he is a cricketer. Rahul is not the doctor. Okay. Fourth, the teacher and the dancer are standing next to each other. Teacher and dancer are standing next to each other. Teacher, dancer. Okay. Teacher, dancer are standing next to each other, or dancer, teacher. This can be the case. Okay. Dancer, teacher. This can also be the case. Dancer, teacher. Here I should write engineer. Engineer. Okay. Seema is turning to her right to speak to the doctor standing next to her. So, look, if teacher and dancer had been here, if I am saying that this is engineer, Lohit is teacher or dancer. If I am saying Lohit is teacher or dancer, what I am saying, Lohit is teacher or dancer. Teacher or dancer. Then what is saying? Seema is turning to her right to speak to the doctor standing next to her. Now, 2 guys are left, Seema and Rahul. Now, if Seema turns right, she will see Rahul, right? And Rahul is not a doctor for sure. This guy is already engineer. Rahul is not a doctor. Seema cannot be the doctor because she is seeing the doctor. So only possible guy left is Lohit. He has to be the doctor only, right? He has to be the doctor. And Seema has to stand here so that she turns to the right, she sees Lohit and he is the doctor. He is the doctor. And where would be this guy Rahul? Rahul will be standing here. So now what is the scene now? So engineer is there, doctor is there. So both of them, one of them will be teacher, one of them will be dancer. So teacher, dancer. We don't know who is whom, but one of them will be teacher, one of them will be dancer. So now the guy who is left, that would be engineer. So who is that guy? Matthew. So the guy would be Matthew. I just wrote down all the cases that they have given. If I solve the problem like this, writing down all the cases, then it would be very easy for me. Also, this case also did not come. MS. The Matthew is not standing next to Seema. So Matthew and Seema are not standing together. Matthew is standing next to Rahul, not Seema. So Matthew and Seema is not together. So Matthew and Rahul. And now you can read point one by one and this would be the complete scenario. Matthew is not standing next to Seema. Okay, Matthew is standing next to Rahul. There are 2 people between Lohit and the engineer. Lohit and the engineer, there are 2 people. Rahul is not doctor. Rahul is not doctor. The teacher and the dancer are standing next to each other. Yeah, teacher and dancer are standing next to each other. Seema is turning to her right. Seema will turn to her right to speak to the doctor standing next to her. Yeah, Seema turns to the right to speak to the doctor standing next to her. So all statements are verified. So the option is D, Matthew, who is the engineer. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. This is very easy question. So the bar graph in panel A shows the portion of male and female illiterates in 2001. So black one shows 2001, 2001, and blue, yeah, this nearly gray one shows 2011. This is 2011. Okay. And the portion of male and females in 2001 and 2011 are given in the panel B and C respectively. So there were total 60% of male in 2001 and 40% of female, and in 2011 male and female ratio is equal. Okay. So let's assume in 2001 there were 100 people. There were 100 people. What they are asking? The increase in the total number of literates from 2001 to 2011. Literates, not illiterates, literates. So there are 100 people. After those 100 people, 60 were male and 40 were female. Now we have to see for 2001 for female. Let's see. So 60% of the female were illiterates. So out of this 40 female, 60% of this, that means 24 were illiterate. 24 female were illiterate. And what about men? 50% of the men were illiterate. That means 30 men were illiterate. So total illiterate were 54. That means literate were literate. Literate were 100 minus 24. Sorry, 100 minus 30 plus 24. That would be 100 minus 54. 46 people. So total literate people were 46 in 2001. Let's do the same for 2011. So in 2011, let's assume there were 100 people. Since we are playing with the percentage, we can assume anything. 100 people were there. So out of those 100 people, 50 were male and 50 were female. So 50 male and 50 female. So out of those 50 male, only 40% were illiterate. So 40% of 50, that would be 20. So 20 male were illiterate. And out of these 50 males, females, sorry, out of these 50 females, only 40% were illiterate. So, okay, 40% will be 20 only. So 20 female were illiterate. So total literates, how many literates will be there? Literates would be 100 minus 20 plus 20. That would be 100 minus 40. 60. So 60 literate people were there. So 60 literate were there and 46 literate were there. So what is the increase? From 46 to 60 we are going. From 46 to 60. So what is the percentage increase? That would be 60 minus 46 by 60 or 46? 46, right? Let's assume I have 20 rupees. Now I had 20 rupees previously. Now I have 40 rupees. So what is the increase? 100%. Right? From 20 rupees I am going 40. So my amount is doubled. So what is the 100% of 20? That is 20 only. Initially I had 20 rupees. Now I am having 40 rupees. So there is 100% increase. Initially my salary was 15 lakhs. Now my salary is 30 lakh. So what is the hike? 100% hike is there, right? From 15, 100% of that 15 only. 15 plus 15, 30. So how do you calculate? Final minus initial upon initial. So 20 by 20, that would be 100% only. If I put 40 here, it would make 50%. That would be wrong. So 20 will be there. So just to give you an example, final minus initial upon initial. So 14 by 46. 14 by 46 and into 100. 14 by 46. 30.4. 30.43. 30.43 into 100. So that would be 30.43%. Well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. Okay, this is also a good question. Now, Indian history was written by British historians, extremely well documented and researched. So, this is the positive line. Well documented, it was there. It was well documented and researched. But not always, impartial. History had to serve its purpose. Everything was made subservient to the glory of Union Jack. Later day Indian scholars presented a contrary picture. So they wrote the Britishers wrote the Indian history. Okay, it was well documented and researched, but it was somewhat biased because everything was made subservient to the glory of Union Jack. So this is the guy Union Jack, I guess. So they are giving the glory to that guy. All the glory they are giving to that guy Union Jack, but the latter means the next one. So the next day, Indian scholar presented a contrary picture. So Indian scholars told that this is not the case. They are being biased there. Okay. So even if you don't know this thing, next of the things, you can still answer this question. Like, what can be inferred? That is, Indian history written by British historians was well documented, not researched? No. Well documented and researched. Was not well documented and researched? No. Was well documented and researched? Yeah. This is the option. Was not well documented? No. So in the first line only you can say extremely well documented and researched. So it was well documented and researched, but was sometime biased. Yeah. So it was biased. Okay. But not always impartial. History had to serve its purpose. So here you can get to know that it was biased sometimes, but it was well documented and researched. Okay. This is also a good question, but you can solve it. So there is a client. So let's read the question. Two design consultant P and Q started working from 8 a.m. They are working from 8 a.m. The client budgeted a total of USD 3,000 for the consultant. So he has $3,000. He has $3,000 with him. The client has $3,000 with him. P stopped working when the hour end moved by 210 degree. Okay. This is the clock we are having. And there are, this is 12, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 9, this is 6. Okay. So if the hour end move completely, if the hour ends moves for 12 hours, so that would make 360 degree. If the hour end is moving for 12 hours, if the hour end is moving for 360 degrees, that means it has worked 360 degrees. That means they are talking about 12 hours. From 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and again 12. So 360 degree the hour end has covered, and that would make complete 12 hour. So 1 hour would be 30 degree, right? Now it has moved 210 degree. That means P worked for how much time? 7 hours. 30 degree for 1 hour. So how much hour? For 210 degree, how much hours are there? 7 hours. And Q worked for 240 degree. That means it worked for 8 hours. So P worked for 7 hours and Q worked for 8 hours. Now P took break of 15 minutes. So P took the break of 15 minutes each during a shift, but took no lunch break. P took two tea breaks. So she took two tea breaks. That means 15 minutes, two breaks of 15 minutes. That means 30 minutes break she took. And what about Q took only one lunch break of 20 minutes. One lunch break of 20 minutes, but no tea break. So how many minutes it would have been? So 7 hours minus 30, 6 hours 30 minutes. 6 into 60, that means 360. So 390 minutes P worked. What about Q? That is 480 minus 20, 460. for 60 minutes, this guy Q worked, right? The market rate for consultant is USD 200 per hour. Okay, so per hour you get 200 rupees. That means per minute you would get 200 by $60. So working for per minute you get these much of dollars. The market rate and breaks are not paid. Breaks are not paid. So breaks we have lessened. So after paying the consultant, the client shall have how much budget remaining in the budget remaining. So for this guy P will get 390 into, for each minute he will get 200 by 60 plus 460 minutes are there. 460 minutes are there. For each minute he will get 200 by 60, right? So basically what will be the answer? 390 plus 460 into 200 by 60. So they are paid $2833.33, right? So this much amount is already paid and this much amount he had. So what will be the left amount? That would be 3000 minus 2833.33. So that would be $166.67. Answer would be B. We just found the total working hours, working minutes actually. So P worked for 390 minutes and Q worked for 460 minutes. For each minute they are given 200 by $60. For 1 hour they are given $200. That means for each minute they are given 200 by $60. That means for 1 hour they are getting $200. That means they are getting 16,000 rupees for working only 1 hour. Okay, this is how freelancer earn. फ्रीलांसर अर्न्स अ लॉट, बहुत पैसा मिलता है फ्रीलांसर्स को, बट अपनी फील्ड में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इसी में फ्रीलांसर्स होते ही नहीं है. वी हैव टू डू द कॉर्पोरेट जॉब. Okay, that's the reality. So yeah, freelancers are earning a lot, 16,000. Okay, so they are earning 200 by $60 per minute. So they worked for this, he worked for 460 minutes and he worked for 390 minutes. So total this much amount of money he has to give. So he is left with this much amount of money. So that's the answer. Let's move on to this question. This is actually a very easy question, but I don't think you are able to see it properly. So yeah, this question is also based on corporate. So five people PQRST work in a bank. P and Q don't like each other but have to share office till T gets a promotion and moves to the big office next to the garden. But this is not the current case. Current case is P and Q are sharing the office. Okay, P and Q don't like each other but have to share an office. But they are sharing an office. Have to share an office. P and Q don't like each other, but still they have to share an office. Till T gets promotion. If T gets promotion, she will move to the big room near the garden. Here she will move or he will move. Till T gets promotion, moves to the big office near the garden. So here she will or he will move. But this is not the current case. Okay. R, who is currently sharing an office with T. R is sharing an office with T. R is sharing an office with T. Wants to move to the adjacent office with S, the handsome new intern. So R wants to stay with S, but currently he or she. So currently R is with T. R is sharing the office with T, but he wants to move to S. That is in the adjacent office only. So the handsome new intern, okay, given the floor plan, what is the current location of QRT? O stands for office, WR stands for washroom. P and Q are sharing an office. Okay. R and T are sharing an office. S is in the adjacent office. That's it. This is the answer. What is their desired one? P and Q don't like each other but have to share an office till T gets an promotion. So this P and Q don't like each other. So q would come here, and then r wants to go to s. R wants to go here, which is currently sharing an office with T. So R and T are here, but R wants to go to S. Yeah, R wants to go to S, land some new intern. Given the floor plan, what is the current location of QRT? This is the current location and this is the desired one. This is desired. This is their desired, but this is the current. So C is the answer. Okay, well and good. P and Q sharing together, R and T sharing together, S is adjacent. Okay, so these two sets we have solved. Now we will be solving one more set. So there are total 8 sets in 2019. So we will solve all the sets. So 2 sets we are done with. Okay, so let's solve this question. John Thomas and blank writer passed away in 2018. So I guess we know the meaning of prominent and dominant. Prominent means famous, dominant means the one who is more powerful. But most of you, I guess, don't know the meaning of imminent. I also didn't know the meaning of imminent. That's why I have written it here. So imminent, first one, option A means happening soon, and option C means standing above others in the achievement. That means his achievement are better than others. So here two option can fit, prominent and imminent, B and C, right? Because John Thomas is a guy who can be a prominent guy, who can be a prominent writer, famous writer, or eminent writer who has better achievements. So two option can fit. When I solved this question first time, I clicked on option B, that John Thomas, prominent writer. I thought he is a famous writer, so I can tick on option B because I didn't know the meaning of eminent. But why option B is wrong? Tell me why option B is wrong and option C is correct. Both can be there, right? Famous also standing above others in the achievement. So why option B is incorrect and C is correct? Take your time and think about it. Why? Because an article is there. If an article is there, that means vowel would come, not consonant. P is a consonant, so vowel would come. So C is the correct answer. Okay, this kind of things also they asked. So this was a good question that would test your what we say, that would test your patience, I can say. Okay, not just the patient but your attentiveness, how much attentive you are. So C would come. Okay, now this question. Now whenever the sentence is starting from had I, that means you can start it from if. Now I am saying that had I permitted him to live, that means I can say if I had permitted him to live, I can say it like that as well. Had I permitted him to live, that can be said in the same manner, that if I had permitted him to live. Okay, yeah, so had or have, what will come, that we will see. So here, had I permitted him to live, I wouldn't have had any problem with him. Here what is the past tense is there, wouldn't have had. So here also some past form will come. What is the past form? That is had. So have will not be there. In the next line you have something past, wouldn't have had any problem with him. So in starting as well, here some past form will had. Okay, so had will come. So here had would come. Now this thing is known as, okay, related to this I will also tell you one more concept, that let's assume there is some present form here, some present. So what will come here? Future will come, some future will come. I'm saying that I feel good, that's why I will go there. I feel good, that's why I will go there. I am feeling well now, so I will come to your party. Here present sense is there, that I feel good or I am feeling good. That's why, because of that, there is something happening. So present and then future would be there. Are you getting my point? This is also a past form of will only. Past form of will is would. And present form of have is had. This is the same case, present to future, but here they are using past form. So here as well I am using past form. Are you getting my point? This thing you will see, present here, in the next line future. This is the same case, but here they are using past form, so here also I would use past form only. Had. And also sentence cannot start from have. Okay, if it was starting from have I permitted him to live, that doesn't make any sense. I can't say if I have permitted him to live. Okay, had, it can start from had I permitted him to leave, that means I can say it if I had permitted him to leave. Okay, so have cancels out, so this thing is there. And now the second statement is I wouldn't have had any problem with him being absent, then dash I. So this is known as question tag. What is question tag? That I am saying that I am not going there, I am not going there, I am not going to school, am I, this is called question tag. So I am not. So whatever that you are saying here, if you are saying the sense of no, if you are saying the sense of negative, that means you will ask in positive. Here you are saying in the sense of negative, here you are telling in the sense of I wouldn't have had in, I would not have had any problem, negative sense is there, so you would ask in positive, would I. Let's understand it in Hindi. Like we say in Hindi that मैं वहां नहीं जाऊंगा, क्या मैं जाऊंगा, यू टॉक लाइक दैट ना समटाइम्स, मैं ये काम नहीं करूंगा, करूंगा मैं, बोलते हो ना ऐसे, मैं ये काम नहीं करूंगा, मैं करूंगा. सो दिस इज द थिंग. मेरे को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मेरे को होगी प्रॉब्लम, मेरे को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, क्या मेरे को प्रॉब्लम होगी, दिस इज द थिंग. सो I wouldn't have had any problem with him being absent, would I? No, I wouldn't. So that's the thing. So always negative will be there. If it was there, I would have had any problem with him, so here I would write wouldn't I. So always negative you need to write. I'm not going to school, am I? Okay. So a worker noticed that the hour hand of the factory clock had moved by 225 degree during her stay at the factory. How long did she work? So this we have already studied. 360 degree means 12 hours, right? 1 degree means 12 by 360 hours. Then 225 degree would mean 12 by 360 into 225. That would give you 7.5 hours. Okay, so the option D is correct. Let's see the fourth one. The sum and product of two integers are 26 and 165. Sum x plus y is 26. Product is 165. You need to find the value of x minus y. How will you do this? Standard problem it is. X minus y whole square is equals to x plus y whole square minus 4xy, right? Just try expanding it. What it will become? X square plus y square plus 2xy minus 4xy. That would become x square plus y square minus 2xy. So x square plus y square minus 2xy is equals to x minus y whole square. So x plus y whole square 26 square minus 4 into 165. From here value of x minus y would come. As far as I remember, it was 4. I will check it once again. 26 square minus 165 into 4. 165 into 4 minus 26 square plus minus under root 4. Yeah, that 4 answer would be there. Okay, well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. So the minister, now these kind of question I would have avoided in the examination actually, because I don't know the perfect meaning of collaring, tying, belting. I know the meaning of tying and belting, but who knows there are some other meaning as well. This is English, right? In one sentence belting means something else, in one sentence belting can mean something else. So when I saw this question at first time, I did not attempt it. Okay, and I would have done the same thing in the exam as well. No need to attempt these kind of questions, because if we are not sure about the meaning of the words collaring, tying, belting, skirting, so I have written the meaning although here. So now after seeing the meanings that tying means to tie, belting that means to beat. Now it seems easy after knowing the meaning. Okay, but when I read the question, the minister avoided any mention of the issue of women's reservation in the private sector. He was accused of blank the issue. So now I don't know. He was accused of belting the issue. Who knows? There is a phrase accused of belting something. Okay, there can be some phrase. So I thought there can be some phrase. So I thought of avoiding these kind of questions. Although there is no phrase here. So cold drink I leave up to you. Okay. See the meaning on Google on your own, cold drink, and you will realize uh, why did not I put this here, put the meaning of cold drink here. But don't skip the video. Okay. Watch the complete video. After, for your fun, you can see the meaning of cold drink in Google. Okay. Or in the end, I will tell you. What do you mean by belting? Belting means to beat someone with the belt. To beat someone. That's the meaning. Tying means to tie someone. And what does skirting mean? Skirting means to go around the edge or to avoid something. To avoid something. To avoid something. That means the minister did not talk about any woman, did not talk about the issue of women's reservation in private sector. He did not talk about that issue. That the issue of women's reservation in private sector. That means he avoided that thing. He avoided talking about that issue. So he was accused of avoiding that issue. That means he was accused of skirting that issue. He was accused of skirting the issue. Okay, not belting. No meaning of belting, tying, and collaring. Collaring means to tie someone by neck by belt. Okay, to tie someone on neck by belt. That is mean. This is what collaring means. I googled it, so I got to know. Collaring means to tie someone by belt by neck. Okay. Under a certain legal system, prisoners are allowed to. This is a very interesting question. You should answer on your own. So there is a certain legal system. I don't know which country they are talking about. The system is there in some country. So under a certain legal system, prisoners are allowed to make one statement. Okay, the guy who is in the jail, he is allowed to make one statement. If their statement turns out to be true, they are hanged. If he says the truth, he will be hanged. And if the statement turns out to be false, he will be shot. Like in both of the cases, he is going to die. That if he says something true, then he will be hanged. If he says something false, he will be shot. Now, one prisoner made a statement and the judge had no option but to set him free. Which of the following statement could be there? He was very intelligent. Which of the following could be that statement? He made one statement and the judge has to leave him free. What can be that statement? Look, if he had picked this statement, I did not commit the crime. So you don't know about the prisoner. He might have committed the crime. He might not have committed the crime. Now let's assume he did not commit the crime. So here he is saying the truth. If he is saying the truth, he will be hanged. Let's assume he committed the crime and here he is saying the truth only. So if he is saying the truth, he will be hanged. Or let's assume he did not commit the crime. So he is saying the false here. He is lying here. So he will be shot. Now C option D, you committed the crime. So now there is possibility that judge committed the crime. If judge committed the crime, then this statement is true. If he is saying true, then he will be hanged. Now there is a possibility that judge did not commit the crime. That means this statement is false. That means he will be shot. So in all these three cases, he is going to die. Now in C, he is saying that I will be shot. He is saying that I will be shot. I will be shot. Now I will be shot. Now if this is truth, if this statement is truth, what will happen? He is going to be hanged. He will be hanged. And if he will be hanged, that means this statement would become false. And if the statement is false, what would happen? If the statement is false, he will be shot. And if he will be shot, then this statement will become true. He played it smart. He just said that I will be shot. So if that statement is true, that means he will not be shot. He will be hanged. If he is hanged, that means this statement would become false eventually. And if the statement is becoming false, that means he will be shot. And if he is shot, the statement will become truth. And if it becomes truth, he will be hanged. If he is hanged, that means the statement would become false. Sorry, they will keep on going into this loop. So they can't do anything to him now. They have to leave him free. So the option is C. Did you understand this point? They have to leave him free because he played it smart. He threw them in a loop that his statement cannot be true, his statement cannot be false. It depends on the action, right? So let's move on to the next problem. So a person divided an amount of rupees 100k, he got 1 lakh rupees, so it would be 100k into two parts and invested in two different schemes. In one he got 10% profit, in other he got 12% profit. If the profit percentage are interchanged with the investment, he would have got 120 rupees less. Find the ratio of his investment. Okay. So he was initially having 100k rupees. He invested in two schemes. So in one scheme he would have invested x rupees, in the second scheme he would have invested y rupees. So combined x plus y would have been 100k. Okay. Since you need to find the ratio, don't ever assume that this would be x and this would be 100 minus x. Just assume y because you need to find x by y. Okay. So better we should assume it to be y. Are you getting my point? What most of the guys would do, they would say that 100k, here x, here 100k minus x. But don't do that, no. Here you will be finding value of x, then you will be finding the value of y as well, then eventually you will be finding x by y only. But so for easier calculation, just assume x rupees and y rupees. Okay. So in the first scheme, he got 10% profit. That means if he had invested 100 rupees, he would have got the profit of 10 rupees, right? So whatever the amount he would have invested, 10% of that he got as profit. And here he got 12% of profit. So this is the profit he got. Now, if the profit percentage are interchanged with the investment, that means if this was 12% and this was 10%, if in x rupees he would have got the 12% profit, and in y if he would have got the 10% profit, in x he would have got the 12% profit, and in y he would have got the 10% profit, then he would make 120 rupees lesser. That means this much of money, let's assume he made 520 rupees by 10% of x and 12% of y. He made 520 rupees. Now by 12% of x and 10% of y, he will make only 400 rupees, 120 rupees less than that. Okay. So this minus this will be 120. So here what I can see, 0.02y minus 0.02x would be equals to 120. So y minus x would be 60k or 6k actually. Y minus x would be 6k. Yeah. And y plus x is 100k. This is equation 2 actually. This was equation 1 only. This is equation 1 only. So from here you get to know that your y is 53k and your x is 47k. What is the ratio? The ratio is 47 ratio 53. Option D is correct. Okay. First, what investment x rupees, y rupees, 10% profit, 12% profit. So we got to know the total profit. Then profit is interchanged, 10% profit, sorry, 12% profit and 10% profit. So 0.12 into x plus 0.1 into y. He would have made 120 rupees less. So relation between y and x we got. Okay. And then value of y and x we got. So the ratio would be 47 ratio 53. Let's see this question. English question, most of you, not most of you, but many of you can get it wrong. Actually, I got it right when I was solving it, or I got it wrong. No, I got it wrong. When I was solving it, I got it wrong. Okay, so let's see this question now. So, Congo was named by Europeans. Congo's dictator, Mobutu, later changed the name of the country and the river to Zaire. Whatever it is, I will read it Zaire. Okay, Zaire. I will read it Zaire. So there was a there was something named Congo. So Congo's dictator Mobutu later changed the name of the country and the river to Zaire. Okay, with the objective of Africanizing names of persons and spaces. So he wanted to Africanize the name of the country. He wanted to Africanize the name of the country. So he named the country and the river as Zaire. So what do you mean by Zaire? That is given. However, the Zaire was Portuguese alternation. Portuguese. So there is a country named Portugal. Portugal. I hope you know it. Portugal. So Zaire was a Portuguese alternation of Najadi o Najere. Najadi o Najere, a local African term. So this Najadi o Najere is local African term. So actually Najadi o Najere is a local African term that has a Portuguese alternation and that name is Zaire. So basically what is the scene? If we solve these kind of problem by writing all these things now, then they will never be wrong. So Zaire is Portuguese alternation. Portuguese alternation of what? Of Portuguese alternation of what? Najadi o Nazere, which is what? An African term. African term. So this Najadi o Nazere is an African term. This Zaire is not an African term. That is Portuguese term. We can say nearly Portuguese term because that is Portuguese alternation of this term. So which means river that swallows river. So Zaire was Portuguese name. So here it is clearly written that Zaire was Portuguese name for the Congo River in 16th and 17th century. So Zaire was Portuguese name. Okay. So let's read the statement. What can be inferred from the paragraph above? So Mobutu was not entirely successful in Africanizing the name of his country. This statement seems true, right? As per me, this is the answer only. I actually forgot it. What was the answer? So this statement seems true because he wanted to Africanize the name. He wanted to Africanize the name, but the name he changed was Zaire. The name he gave the country, that was Zaire. But was that African term? No, that was not an African term. That was Portuguese alternation, and here it is written that Zaire was Portuguese name. So it was a Portuguese name. The African term was Najadi or Najere, not Zaire. Okay, he wanted to Africanize, but he couldn't Africanize. Okay, he was not entirely successful in Africanizing. Okay, although Najadi or Najere, from that he took a Portuguese alternation, that was Zaire. Najadi or Najere, that was an African term. So for that, what was the Portuguese term? That was Zaire. So that name he gave. Okay. So term the Najadi of Najare was of Portuguese origin? No, it was from African. So this is wrong. Mobutu's desire to Africanize name was prevented by Portuguese? Nowhere it is written. The Mobutu's desire to Africanize name was prevented by the Portuguese. So can it be inferred? Let's think about it. Mobutu's desire to Africanize names was prevented by the Portuguese. No mention of prevention by the Portuguese is there. I don't think that would be an appropriate option because like Portuguese are not preventing anything here. He just gave the name Zaire, which was from Portuguese. That was a Portuguese name only. So I don't think there was any prevention from Portuguese side. Okay, so from Portugal side there was no prevention, so I can't really comment on this. As a dictator, Mobutu ordered the Portuguese to alter the name of the river to Zaire. No, not at all. There is nothing that he ordered the Portuguese to alter the name of the river to Zaire. Right? He just changed the name to Zaire. And why would he order the Portuguese? Portuguese will be happy to have the name Jaire, right? Because that was already a Portuguese name. Are you getting my point? Why would Mabuto order the Portuguese to have the river name to Jaire? He don't need to order. Portuguese will be happy to have the river name to Jaire because that is from Portuguese origin only, right? So this statement is not also correct. So only correct statement that seems is option A. So I am again and again saying, if you are solving the English problem, just take your full attention, take your time in that. Don't do the, don't put the tick very fastly. Okay. I also did this mistake in instrumentation exam during my preparation, during my final examination, and I got it wrong. So while solving the English problem, just give your full attention and take your time. Then it will be correct. Let's see this question. So there is a firm or company. So there is a firm that hires employee at 5 different skill set that are PQRST. The shares of employment of these skills are of the total employment in 2010 is given in the pie chart as shown. So there were total 600 employees. 600 employees in 2010. Okay. 25% of that was having skill. What skill they were having? Q skill they were having. So 25% of 600 would be 4, 600 by 4 simply. 600 by 4. 4 1 ja 4. 150. So 150 of them were having the skill Q. 150 of them were having the skill R. And 20%. That means 120 of them were having the skill P. And 25 again, 150 of them were having the skill S. And 5%, that means 30 people were having skill T. So that was the chart. Okay. Now there were total 600 employees and the total employment increased by 15% from 210 to 16. So what is the 15% of 600? 90. So in 2016 there were 290 employees. Sorry, 690 employees. Sorry, 690. 15% of 600. What is the 15% of 600? That is 90. 15 into 6, 90. Okay. So 90 employees were more hired. So now the employees became is 690. Now they are saying that the total employment at skill set PQR remained unchanged. So 120 guys were there in 2010 and in 2016 as well there is 120 guy for skill set P, Q and R. So 150 guys and this 150 guys, they are unchanged. If the employment at skill set S increased by 40%, so this one is increased by 40%. So what is the 40% of 150? That is 60. 40% of 150. That would be 60. Right? 60. So 60 more employees were hired. That means this would become 210. This would become 210. Now, how many employees were there for skill set T in 2016? For skill set T, how many employees were there? So total increase in employees was 90. Total increase was 90. 60 was increased here. That means 30 would have been increased here. So 30 plus 30. That would be 60. And if they had asked, what is the increase of percentage in the employment of T? What you will say? What is the increase of percentage? Like the increase of percentage in S was 40%. So similarly, what is the increase of percentage in T? 100%. How do you find the increase? 60 minus 30 by 30 into 100. So what it would become? 100% only. So 100% increase was there. From 30 to 60 it would become. Double it would become. That means 100% increase was there. Are you getting my point? Initially the employees were 120, 150, 150, 150 and 30 employees were there. Then PQR was unchanged. The total employment increased from 600 to 690. That means 90 employees more they had. In S, there were increment of 40%. That means in S, from 150 to 210 employees were there. Okay, that means 60 employees they had. So rest of the 30 employees they hired for T only. So the 30 employees they hired was for T. That means now total 60 employees are there. That's it. In 2016, total 60 employees are there. So that's the final answer. C is the final answer. Okay, well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. Now, this is very easy. M and had 4 children. Who is mother? Who is father? No, it's not given. They had 4 children. P, Q, R, S. If P and R were married, not to each other, okay, they are siblings. P and R were married, okay, they had children X and Y respectively. So they had X and they had Y. R had Y. Y is the legitimate child of W. So Y is the legitimate child of W. So Y has to be husband or wife of R. He can be husband as well or she can be wife as well. It is not given. But Y is the child of W. That means R and W are married. R and W are married. Right? Now, which of the following statement is necessarily false? Necessarily false. So let's read the first statement. M is the grandmother of Y. M is the grandmother of Y. They are father, mother. They are grandfather and grandmother. So any possible case can be there. M can be grandmother as well or grandfather as well. So there is possibility that M can be grandmother. So this can be true. Necessarily false means if there is a possibility that this can be true. So this is not necessarily false. What is M is a woman? What if M is a woman? If M is a woman, that means M will be the grandmother of Y only, right? So not necessarily false. It is not necessarily false. R is the father of Y. Yeah, R can be father of Y. If R is a man, he would be father of Y. So this is also a possibility. W is the wife of R. Yeah, this is the possibility of. This is also a possibility because if W is a woman, that means he will be the wife of R. W is the wife of P. No, this cannot be the case because W and R are married. This cannot be the case. So final answer would be D. The answer would be D. So A, B, C can be true. It's not that they are necessarily true, but they can be true. But D is absolutely false. D is certainly false. 100% it is false. Why so? Because W, R and W are already married. So that's why. Okay, well and good. So let's solve another set of 10 question. So let's see this question. Daytime temperature in Delhi can reach blank 40 degrees Celsius. So what should be the correct answer? Reach, right? So whenever you use the word reach, there will be no preposition will be used. It's not that reach up to. Only reach will be enough. So daytime temperature in Delhi can reach 40 degrees Celsius. Okay. Can peak 40 degrees Celsius? Doesn't make any sense. Can stand 40 degrees Celsius? Doesn't make any sense. Can get, if I was using get, then I would have used get up to 40 degrees Celsius. Daytime temperatures Delhi can get up to 40 degree Celsius. So that would make some sense if I had used get up to, but only reach will be there. So for reach you don't need to use up to. So daytime temperature in Delhi can reach 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the answer would be C. Now this is also a standard one. The growth rate of ABC Motors in 2017 was same as that of XYZ Motors in 2016. Like if I say that your assignment is same as that of Ram's assignment. So as that of, that means it is used to not to no, I will not say to compare, I will say to equalize two of the things, to equalize, right? My assignment and Ram's assignment is same. So my assignment is same as that of Ram's assignment, as that of, okay? So that would be used. Let's see this question, third question. Suresh wanted to lay a new carpet in his new mansion with area that much. However, an area of 550 square meter had to be left out for the floor pots. The cost of carpet is 50 rupees per square meter. How much money will be spent? Okay. So what is the total area? Total area, that is 70 into 55. But only 70 into 55 minus 550. That much will be used. right? Because 550 square meter had to be left out for flower pot. So only in this much amount of area the carpet will be there. Okay, so carpet will be laid out. So in this much amount of area only the carpet will be laid out. So what is that area? That would be 55 into 60. So 3300 meter square, and 1 meter square is of 50 rupees. So total amount will be 3300 into 50. So that would be some this much amount of money. So that would be this 1.65 1.65 lakh, right? Yeah. Let's see the fourth one. A retaining wall with measurement this much was constructed with bricks of dimension this is. If only 60% of the wall consists of bricks, the number of bricks used. Okay. So what is the, like, the wall? There is a wall. Wall will have some volume, right? Just see a wall. Wall will have some width, some length, some width, and some breadth, right? This will be your wall. I hope I will be able to make it. How can I make it? Somewhat like this. This will be your wall, right? So wall will have some length as well, breadth as well, and some width as well. So all these things will be there. So the total volume is 30 into 12 into 6, but only 60% will be used. Only 60% of this. What is 60%? I would have done 60 by 100. Only 60% of this will be used. So this much of volume is there, and one brick will cover how much volume? One brick will cover 8 into 6 into 6 centimeter cube. That means 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube. So each brick will cover that much of volume. The total volume is 30 into 12 into 6 into 0.6, because only 0.6 only 60% of the wall will consist of brick. So that much of wall will consist of brick. So that much volume has to be covered. This much of volume has to be covered, and one brick will cover this much of volume. So one brick will cover 8 into 6 into 6, that much of volume, and this much of volume has to be covered. So how many bricks it will be used? So 30 into 12 into 6 into 0.6 divided by 8 divided by 6 divided by 6. So 4.5 into 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 6. That means 45 lakhs. 45 lakhs. 45 lakhs bricks you need. Are you getting my point? The volume of wall into 1.6, because only 60% of wall will consist of brick. So one brick will cover that much of volume. So how much brick you will need? That's it. Let's see the fifth question. Hima was the only Indian. The only Indian. A only Indian and only Indian doesn't make any sense. The only Indian. Before only, the will be used. Hima Das was the only Indian athlete to win a gold medal for India. The gold medal we can't say. The only Indian to win a gold for India. The gold we can't say. Gold is not unique. A gold for India, right? Some other guy can also win a gold. So Hima Das was the only Indian to win a gold for the India. Okay, for India, not for the India, for India. Okay. So the and A would be the correct answer. Sixth one, basic aptitude question, that Mohan, the manager, wants his 4 workers to work in pairs. So there are 4 guys, they would work in pair. 4 guys are there, they would work in pair. That means 2 guys will work together, 2 guys will work together. So now no pair should work more than 5 hours. No pair should work more than 5 hours. So the maximum time one pair can work is 5 hours. Now Ram and John have worked together for 5 hours. Ram and John, they have worked together for 5 hours. And Krishna and Amir have worked for 2 hours. Krishna and Amir. Now they have worked for 5 hours and they have worked for 2 hours. Now their work is done, right? Now they can't work together. Now Ram and John can't work together. Also, Krishna doesn't want to work with Ram. So Ram cannot be with John. Ram cannot be with John, and Ram cannot be with Krishna as well, because Krishna doesn't want to work with Ram. So this pair is not possible. Ram plus John is not possible. Ram plus Krishna is not possible. So where can Ram go? Ram plus Amir is possible now. Only possible is Ram plus Amir, and then John plus Krishna has to be there. This pair has to work now. So they are asking, whom should Mohan allot the work with John if he wants all the worker to continue working? So John should be working with Krishna. Answer is B. Got my point? Four guys were there, two pairs were there. One pair can work for 5 hours only. Ram plus John worked for 5 hours. Krishna plus Amir worked for 2 hours. But now Ram cannot work with John. Ram cannot work with John. Now Ram has to work with either Krishna or Amir. Now Krishna is saying, I won't work with Ram. So now Ram will work with Amir. So if Ram is working with Amir, that means Krishna is working with John. So Mohan will allot John to work with Krishna. So sixth will have option B. Now seventh question. Population of state X increased by X% and the population of state Y increased by Y% from 2001 to 2011. So when I was solving this question for the first time, what I did, let's assume my initial population was 10. So I did that 10 into 1 plus X by 100 to the power 10. But this will not be the population in 2011. I assume this would be the population in 2011. If I assume the population in 2001 was 10, then the population in 2011 would be 10 into 1 plus X by 100 to the power 10. This will not be the population. They are not saying that every year X% is increasing. They are not saying that. They are not saying that every year X% is increasing. They are saying that in 10 years from 2001 to 2011 X% has increased. This is what they are saying. Okay, so this is not the case. So every year X% is increasing. Not every year. In 10%, in 10 year X% has increased, and in 10 year Y% has increased. Okay, in state Y. Assume X is greater than Y. Let P be the ratio of the population of state X by state Y in the given year. Then the percentage increase in P from 2001 to 2011. Let's talk about 2001. Okay, so let's assume in 2001 there were one people only in X state. Only one person was there. Only one person was there. I can assume anything. I am playing with ratio. When I am playing with ratio, I can assume anything. I am assuming only one person was there. And in state Y as well, only one person was there. Tell me what is the ratio, what is the value of P? The value of P for 2001. Value of P for 2001. Let P be the ratio of population of state X and state Y in the given year. So value of P in 2001 was 1 only. 1 by 1, 1. Okay. So P was 1. Now in 2011, what is the case? So X would become X% increase is there. X% increase is there. Right? So 1 plus X% of 1. X by 100 into 1. That would become 1 plus 0.01 X. And what would be the case in case of Y? Y% increase is there. So 1 plus Y% of increase is there. 1 plus 0.01 Y. That is the case. Okay. If I had assumed 100, that would be better. I should have assumed 100%. Right? Okay. Now I have assumed this. And if I had assumed 100 people, here 100 would come. So 1 plus X it would become. Okay. So that would be better. But yeah. So P for 2011 is becoming 1 plus 0.1 X plus 1 plus 0.01 Y. Right? Okay. Now we have to go to the next page. Now what you the percentage increase in P. The percentage increase in P. Percentage increase in P. What that would be? Final minus initial upon initial. That would be your answer, right? What was the final? 1 plus 0.01x upon 1 plus 0.01y minus 1 upon 1. Simply your answer is 1 plus 0.01x minus 1 minus 0.01y upon 1 plus 0.01y. So it would be 0.01 is common, x minus y. So now here from here I can take 0.01 common. So it would become 100 plus y. Something wrong I have done. X minus y upon 100 plus y I am getting, but there is certainly something wrong that I have done here. There is some calculation mistake. Okay, no mistake is there. Since they are asking percentage, I have to multiply by 100 as well. I forget this thing again and again. I have to multiply by 100 as well. Because they are asking percentage, no? So you have to multiply by 100 as well. So your answer would be 100 into x minus y upon 100 plus y. That's it. If you had assumed 100 people here and 100 people of y, then the calculation would become much more easier, right? It would be 100 people of x and 100 people of y. So initially p value is 1. Then x percent is increased. That means 100 plus x would be the next value, 100 plus y would be the next value. So now the p value would become 100 plus x upon 100 plus y. Now you need to find final 100 plus x minus initial upon initial. Initial is also 1. So it would become x minus y upon 100 plus y into 100 because they are asking in percentage. So 100 into x minus y upon 100 plus y. Sorry, 100 into x minus y upon 100 plus y. That would be your final answer. So if you had assumed 100 people, that would become, the problem would become much more easier. Okay, I assumed one person, so a bit of complex calculation was there. But yeah, we could get to the final answer, right? Well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. Actually, I am having a slight cold. That's why I have to pause the video again and again. Yeah, so let's see this question. The newspaper reports that over 500 hectares of tribal land spread over 28 tribal settlement in some place name is there, Mohinitampuram forest. Mohinitampuram forest division have already been alienated. A top forest official said, first, the tribals are duped out of their land holdings. Second, the families thus rendered landless are often forced to encroach further into forest. Now you read this paragraph, now you get to know that I don't know the meaning of most of the words here. I also don't know the meaning of most of the words here. But let's read the question first. Okay, don't give up on these kind of questions just by seeing the tough English. Okay, it's not a problem. Even I don't know the most of the meanings, but I will be able to solve because I am having some patience. So on the basis of the information available in the graph, who are responsible for the duping of the tribals? Okay, so let's read it again. So a newspaper is reporting that the tribal land of 50 hectares across 28 tribal settlement in forest division have been alienated. Okay, and a top forest official said that. So there are only two guys are mentioned here. So those two guys are newspaper reports and top forest officials. So newspaper reported that the land that tribals had, the land that tribals had over, it was around 500 hectares that has been alienated. Okay, and now a top forest official is making a statement. They are saying that first the tribals are duped out of their land holdings. Like first they kick them out from their land holdings, and then secondly the families are rendered landless. Then because of that, the families will be landless and they are often forced to encroach further into the forest. So they have to encroach into the forest. Now I don't know the meaning of encroach as well. You can search on it. You can search on Google. As far as I can read the statement, it means they are forced to go into the forest. So first they will encounter their lands, not encounter. They will capture their lands, and then they will become landless, and they will force them into the forest. So now, who are responsible for duping the tribals? They are responsible for duping the tribals. Who are they? We don't know. Look, the forest official is saying that the tribals are duped out of their land holdings. Who are duping them out? It is not mentioned. This is the report by top forest officials. So this is just a report by top forest officials. So who are responsible? Forest official? No, this is just a report. The newspaper? No, the newspaper reported about the lands of tribal. So they are also not responsible. Landless families? How they are responsible? They are also not responsible. So it cannot be inferred who. Okay. So that is the option. Who are duping them out of their land holdings? No one knows that. So it cannot be inferred who. Let's move on to this question. So these kind of question student face problem in solving, but I will tell you one simple method. Okay. So there are these things are given. X can fill the pipe in 5 hours. Y can fill the pipe. Sorry. Y pipe can fill the tank in 4 hours. X can fill the tank in 5 hours. Y can fill the tank in 4 hours. And oil tank is full of a drainage. There is a drainage hole that is open and oil is drained in 20 hours. So it is completely drained in 20 hours. So these data are given 4, 5, 4, 20. Take the LCM of those. LCM will be 20. So let's assume your tank is of 20 liter. We have to assume my tank is of 20 liter. That means X will be, now X can fill 20 liter in 5 hours. That means X can give 4 liter per hour. Right? Y can give 5 liter per hour. And this drainage hole can empty the hole in 20 hours. That means this drainage will give minus 1 liter per hour. That means it will emptize it. It will empty the tank. Are you getting my point? 5, 4, 20 was there. I took the LCM. I assumed the tank to be of 20 liter. I assumed the tank to be of 20 liter. That I assumed. Tank is of 20 liter. So now X can fill the tank in 5 hours. That means X is giving 4 liter per hour. So in 5 hours it will give 20 liters. Similarly, Y is giving 5 liter per hour. So in 4 hours it will give 20 liter. Drainage hole is draining 1 liter per hour. That means in 20 hours it will drain completely. Now, if initially the tank was empty, someone started the two tanks together. They started these two tanks two pumps together. So they were giving 9 liter per hour. But left the drainage hole open. That means 1 liter per hour is getting drained. So eventually in 1 hour you are getting 8 liter. X and Y pipe working together. That means one is giving 4 liter per hour, Y is giving, X is giving 4 liter per hour, Y is giving 5 liter per hour. So total 9 liter per hour you are getting. But because of that hole, drain hole, 1 liter per hour is getting out of the tank. So total in 1 hour you are getting 8 liter. So in 1 hour you are getting 8 liter. So how many hours it will take for the tank to be filled? In 1 hour you are getting 8 liter. You need to fill 20 liter. So 20 by 8. That means 2.5 hours it will take. That's it. No formula, nothing else. Just your basic aptitude, just your brain you have to use. So this is how I solve, and there are these questions as well that X can complete a work in 5 hours, Y can complete a work in 4 hours. If both are working together, in how much hour the work will be done. The same thing, the same kind of question can be done with this approach. Take the LCM. Let's assume the question was X can do the work in 5 hours, Y can do the work in 4 hours. If both are working together, in how much hours the work will be done? So X can do the work in 5 hours, Y can do the work in 20 hours. Let's assume my work is some eating 20 laddus. My work is eating 20 laddus. This is my work. This is my work. Now X can complete the work in 5 hours. That means X can eat 4 laddu per hour and Y can eat 5 laddu per hour. If both are working together, that means in 1 hour 9 laddu will be eaten. In 1 hour 9 laddu will be eaten. You have to eat 20 laddus. That means how much hour you need to work? 20 by 9. 20 laddu upon 9 laddu per hour. So basically it will take 20 by 9 hours. So if both are working together, this is how you need to solve those problems. Okay, just take the LCM. Now here also I took the LCM 5 hour, 4 hour, 20 hours. So basically I took the LCM 20 liter. Okay, X can fill 4 liter per hour, Y can fill 5 liter per hour, and drainage will take 1 liter per hour. So basically 8 liter per hour is given. So in 1 hour 8 liter is given. So you need 20 liter. So how much hour it will take? 2.5 hours. So answer would be C. That's it. Let's move on to this problem. This problem is based on English. So popular Hindi fiction, despite or perhaps because of its wide reach, often does not appear in our cinema. What is the meaning of this sentence? Take your time and read it again and try getting the meaning of this sentence. The meaning is that either Hindi cinemas are so popular or they are not known at all. That's why they doesn't appear in our cinema. That Hindi fictions doesn't appear in our cinema. There can be two reasons. First one, they are so famous that it has a wide reach, and second, they have no reach at all. So they are saying that popular Hindi fiction, despite of its wide reach, that it has the wide reach, still they are not appear in our cinema, or because of its wide reach. That means that Hindi fiction will be a book, right? So people have read the book already because there is high reach. So people have read the book already, so they will not be interested in the cinema of that fiction. So that can be one of the possibility, or people haven't read the book at all. Even the writers haven't read that book at all. So no one has read that book. So that's why the fiction is not reaching the cinema. I hope you have got the point. Okay. As ideals that viewers are meant to look up to rather than identify with. Hindi film protagonist. Protagonist. So protagonist means the hero. Okay. Basically the hero of the movie. Okay. The protagonist means hero of the movie. So Hindi film protagonist usually read books of aspirational values, textbook, English books, or high value literature. So what cannot be inferred from the graph above? Okay. So first thing, though popular Hindi fiction has wide reach, it often doesn't appear in the movies. So yeah, here it is saying popular Hindi fiction, despite of its wide reach, doesn't appear in our cinema. So that can be inferred from the above paragraph. Okay, this can be inferred. So this is true statement. This is true. Now second statement is protagonist in Hindi movies being ideals for viewers read only books of aspirational values. So let's read this line. As ideals that viewers are meant to look up. Like, do you mean the meaning of look up to? Look up to. That I look up to Virat Kohli. That means I want to be someone like Virat Kohli. I look up to Babar Azam. That means I want to be someone like Babar Azam. But okay, someone can look up to Babar Azam as well. Okay, so this is what look up to mean. So as ideals that viewers are meant to look up to rather than identify with Hindi film protagonists. So Hindi film protagonists like Hindi film heroes are the ideals that viewers are meant to look up to. So viewers wants to look up to those Hindi film heroes, that they want to be like them. Okay, so protagonist in Hindi movies being ideals for viewers. So they are being ideal for viewers. Till now this statement is right. Read only books of aspirational values. And here it is written, the Hindi film protagonist usually read the books of aspirational value. So here they are saying only. That means that protagonist can read books other than aspiration value as well. They can read the book of comic as well. They can read anything. But here it is written only. So this is contradicting. So here it becomes false. So this can be our one of the option. Now let's read other option as well. Textbook, English books or high literature have high inspiration or high literature have high aspirational values but not popular Hindi fiction. So Hindi film protagonists usually read books of aspirational value, textbook, English books or high value literature. So these textbooks, English book or high literature have aspirational values. So what they are saying that Hindi film protagonists usually read books of aspirational value. Now, where these aspirational values will be found? In textbooks, they will be found. In English books, they will be found, and in high value literature, they will be found. Only three sources are there where these aspirational values are found. They are textbook, English book, or high literature aspirational value. So this statement is true, right? And then last statement, people do not look up to the writers of textbook, English book, or high value literature. Look, they are saying that people do not look up to the writers of textbook, English book, or high value literature. That means people do not idealize these, do not idealize whom? They don't idealize the writers of textbook, English book, or high value literature. But let's try to understand this point. So as ideals that viewers are meant to look up to rather than identify with, like people are meant to look up to Hindi film protagonists. Okay, so these people are meant to look up to Hindi film protagonists. Protagonists. So people are meant to look up to Hindi film protagonists. Now these Hindi film protagonists usually read books of high aspirational values. Books of high aspirational values. Now, what do you understand by this point? That these Hindi film protagonists look up to them. They look up to them because they are reading the books of high aspirational values. So they look up to the writers of that book. Those Hindi film heroes, they look up to the writer of the books. Which books? Writer of textbook, English book, or high value literature. So they will also come in people. No, they will also come in people. At least Hindi film heroes, they look up to the writers of the book of high aspirational value. Now, which are the books of high aspirational value? They are textbook, English book, or high value literature. So at least they look up to the books of high aspirational value, and people look up to them. So people look up to these Hindi film protagonists, okay, and these Hindi film protagonists look up to the writers of high aspiration value. So basically, certainly people will look up to the writers of the high aspirational, writers of the book of high aspirational values. Did you get this point? देखो, वो हिंदी फिल्म के हीरो है, वो हाई एस्पिरेशनल वैल्यू वाली बुक पढ़ते हैं, और जो हिंदी फिल्म के हीरो है वो उनको आइडियलाइज करते हैं कॉमन लोग. सो कॉमन लोग इवेंचुअली आइडियलाइज कर ही रहे हैं जिन्होंने वो किताब लिखी है. कौन सी? हाई एस्पिरेशन वैल्यूज वाली किताब. सो इट इज डायरेक्टली कनेक्टेड टू हेयर एज वेल. सो पीपल डू लुक अप टू द राइटर्स ऑफ टेक्स्ट बुक, English book, or high aspirational literature. So this is also false. Okay, so possible options are B and D. Go to my point. So these two cannot be inferred. Rest two can be inferred. And here if they did not put only, then the line would have been right. Protagonists in Hindi movies, being ideal for viewers, usually read books of aspirational values. So B and D are possible options. Okay, let's see another set of 10 questions. So let's see this question now. The expenditure on the project dash as follows. Equipment rupees 20 lakhs, salaries 12 lakhs, and contingency rupees 3 lakhs. So the expenditure on the project breaks down as follows, right? Look, there will be two statements. Tell me which one is right. This is the breakdown of the expenditure. This is the breakdown of the expenditure. Is that statement right? Yeah, this is right. Now I am saying that the expenditure on the project breakdown as follows. This is wrong because here breakdown is used as a verb. This is used as a verb. Used as a verb, so it will be breaks down because expenditure is singular. This is singular and it is used as a verb, so it will be having S, right? So breaks down. The search engine business model around the fulcrum of trust. Okay, so basically your business model revolves around the whatever the meaning of this word is, I don't know. Basically it revolves around trust only. So your your search engine's business model revolves around trust. So revolves around, plays around, sings around, brushed around, no meaning of that, revolves around. Now third one, very easy question, very straightforward. We have also seen these kind of questions a lot of time. Two cars start at the same time from the same location and go in the same direction. One is moving with 50 kmph and the second one is moving with 60 kmph. Initial distance is 0. The number of hours it will take for the distance to be 20 km. So this would be going with the relative speed of 10 km, right? So this is going with the relative speed of 10 km. This is 50, this is 60. So relative speed of car B would be, this is A, this is B. Car B would be 10 km per hour and they need to cover 20 km. That means it would take 2 hours, right? Time will be equals to distance upon speed. Speed is 10. So answer would be 2 hour. So answer would be B. Okay, let's see the third question. Fourth question, sorry. 10 friends plan to share equally the cost of buying a gift for their teacher. When two of them decided not to contribute, each of the friend has to pay rupees 150 more. The cost of the gift was. Okay. So initially 10 people were there. 10 people. Okay. Initially, let's assume each contributed X rupees. Each contributed X rupees. If each contributed X rupees, then the of gift gift would have been 10x rupees, right? If each contributed. But now two friends backed out. Two of them decided not to contribute. So each of the friend had to pay 150 rupees more. So when 8 people are there, each has to contribute. Each contributed how much rupees? X plus 150 rupees, right? Because all of them has to give 150 rupees more. So they contributed this much of rupees. 8 people contributed this much of rupees. So what will be the cost of gift? The cost of gift would have been 8 people and one will be of X plus 150, right? So 10x is equals to 8x plus 15 into 8, 120. So X is 600 rupees. X coming out to be 600 rupees. So what will be the cost of gift? So cost of gift would be 10x you can say, or 8 into X plus 150 you can say. You can calculate anything. So 10 into 600, it would be 6,000 rupees. Okay, so the cost of gift was 6,000 rupees. Initially, if each was contributing X rupees, then 10x rupees, and now each one is 8 people are there, so each one is contributing X plus 150 rupees. So 8 into X plus 150, both are equal. So X value we are getting 600. So each student initially was contributing 600 rupees, but finally 8 students were contributing 750 rupees. 600 plus 150, 750. So you can do 750 into 8 or you can do 10 into 600. You will get the same answer only. Okay, let's see this question. This is a very good question. Try doing it on your own. So in this one, there are 4 arrested guys, PQRS, and these guys know each other. They made the following statement. Okay, PQRS made the following statement. Assume only one of the arrested 4 committed the crime. Okay, one of them is the criminal. PQRS, one of them is the criminal. And only one statement of the above made is true. Only one statement is true. There are 4 guys, PQRS. Only one of the guys is criminal and only one of the statement is true. Either P will be saying truth or Q will be saying truth or R will be saying the truth or S will be saying the truth. Only one statement will be true. Let's assume P is saying the truth. Let's assume P is saying the truth. We have to find who is the criminal. Okay. So let's assume P is saying the truth. That means Q is the criminal. That means our criminal would be Q. Because P is saying the truth, P is saying that Q committed the crime. So Q is our criminal. Now Q is saying that S committed the crime. That means S is not the criminal. Q is the criminal, S is not the criminal. Because Q is saying S committed the crime, but we are assuming that P says the truth. If P is saying the truth, that means Q, R, and S all are lying. Are you getting my point? Wait a second. Okay, so let's write it here. So let's assume P is saying the truth. If P is saying the truth, that means Q, R, S are lying. Okay, all are lying. Now P is saying Q committed the crime. That means Q is the criminal. As per P is saying the truth, that means Q is the criminal. Now Q is saying S committed the crime. That means S did not commit the crime, because Q is saying that S committed the crime, and Q is lying. Q is lying. So S did not commit the crime. Now R is saying that I did not do it. R is saying that I did not commit the crime. That means R is also lying. That means R is also the criminal. But two criminals cannot be there. So this case is eradicated. So first case is eradicated. Let's assume Q is saying the truth now. Q is saying the truth. That means P, R, S are lying. They are lying. Okay. So now P is saying that Q committed the crime. That means Q is not the criminal. Now Q is saying that S committed the crime. That means S is the criminal. Now again R is saying that I did not do the crime. That means R is lying. Here R is lying. That means R committed the crime. Two criminals cannot be there. Only what is written? Only one of them, the arrested, committed the crime. So two criminals cannot be there. So this is also eradicated. Let's see the third case. Third case is, let's assume R is saying the truth and PQS lying. Okay, PQS are lying. So P is saying Q committed the crime. That means Q did not commit the crime, because P is lying. Q say S committed the crime. That means S did not commit the crime. Now R is saying I did not do it. That means R also did not do it. Now S is saying that what Q said about me is false. Q said that S committed the crime. Q said that S committed the crime. And that means S is saying that he did not commit the crime. Are you getting this point or not? S is saying that what Q said about me is false. And what Q said? Q said S committed the crime. Q is saying that S committed the crime, and S is saying that that is false. But here S is lying. S is lying. S is saying that what Q said is false. But S is lying. That means what Q said is true. That means they are saying that S committed the crime. But initially here it was said that S did not commit the crime, and here they are saying that S committed the crime. That means this also is eradicated. Did you understand this? We are assuming that R said the truth, rest all are lying. So P is lying, P is saying Q committed the crime. That means Q did not commit the crime. Q says S committed the crime. That means Q is also lying. That means S did not commit the crime. Now comes to R. R is saying I did not do it, and we are assuming that R is saying the truth. So here we said that R also did not commit the crime. Now coming to the statement of S. S is lying. S is lying. S is telling the S is not telling the truth. So S is saying that what Q said about me is false. That means what will be the negation of that? What Q said about me is truth. So what Q said about S is truth. So Q said S committed the crime. So that means S committed the crime. But here it was said that S did not commit the crime, and here it is said that S committed the crime. So that means this is also eradicated. The last one now. The last one would be PQR all are lying and S is saying the truth. S is saying the truth and PQR are lying. Okay, so let's see. This is P is saying Q committed the crime. That means it didn't commit the crime. Q is saying R committed the crime. That means, sorry, Q is saying S committed the crime. He is also lying. So S did not commit the crime. R is saying I did not do it. R is saying I did not do it, but he is lying. That means R committed the crime. And S is saying what Q said about me is false, and S is saying the truth. So that means S did not commit the crime. So there is no ambiguity, nothing else. Only one criminal is there, that is R. So the option would be R. Take your time and understand this. Take your time and understand this on your own. So did you guys understand it? Let's check the fourth one. We are saying that S is saying the truth and P, Q, R are lying. That means P says that Q committed the crime. That's a lie. That means Q did not commit the crime. Now Q is saying S committed the crime. That's also a lie. That means Q did not commit the crime. Now R is saying that he did not commit the crime, but he is lying. That means R committed the crime. Okay. If there will be any ambiguity, then this also will be eradicated. But let's check if there is any ambiguity. So we went to the S. S is saying that what Q said about me is false, and S is saying the truth now. So what Q said about me? So what did Q say? S committed the crime, and that is false. That means S did not commit the crime. So here also it is saying S did not commit the crime, and here also it is saying S did not commit the crime. That means there is no ambiguity. So that means R is the criminal. So R is the criminal. And who is saying the truth? S is saying the truth. All are PQR, all are lying. PQR are lying, R is the criminal, S is saying the truth. So that's the complete conclusion. So that's how you need to solve all these problems. Let's move on to the next one. Very easy problem, very straightforward. So this triangle represents the teachers. This rectangle represents the administrators. This rectangle represents the administrators, and this circle represents the researchers. So the percentage of administrator, the percentage of administrators. These kind of words I can't speak, and you see I am teaching in English, so just think how tough it is for me, but I am doing it for you all guys. Yeah, so please do like, I am teaching in English because a lot of people can't understand Hindi, so that's why we are teaching in English. So for a North Indian like me, where the mostly Hindi is spoken, so it becomes difficult sometimes. So yeah, so they are asking that percentage of administrate the percentage of admin that shall be in the range of what? Okay, so how many admins are there? They are 50. And how many researchers are there? They are 70. Okay, we don't need to calculate all these things. We just need to check how many admins are there. 20 plus 20 plus 10, 50 admins are there. So total, how many total people are there? 70. Total are 70 plus 10 plus 20 plus 20 plus 40. These are the total, right? So 80 plus 80, 160. So admins, percentage of admin, that would be 50 by 160 into 100. So it would become 31 point something. So C would be the answer. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. So a recent High Court judgment has sought to dispel the idea of begging as a disease, which leads to its stigmatization and criminalization, and to regard it as a symptom. The underlying disease is the failure of the state to protect citizens who fall through the social security net. So read it again. So there is a high court, there is a judgment from High Court that they have sought to dispel the idea of begging as a disease. So they are saying that begging is known as a disease, and now they are eradicating that idea. So among the people, there is an idea that begging is a disease. Begging is a disease. Now they are eradicating that idea. So to dispel, that means they are eradicating that idea. Okay. So begging is not a disease. Okay, they are eradicating the idea of begging as a disease. So people consider begging as a disease, but High Court is saying that this is not a disease. Okay, so like if you consider begging as a disease, this leads to stigmatization and criminalization, right? So it increases the criminal cases and all. And but what is the actual problem? The underlying disease is the failure. The underlying disease means the hidden disease. That means what is the actual problem? The actual problem is the failure of the state to protect citizens who fall through the social security net. Okay, so we will read now what can be inferred from the given passage so that we could understand the meaning of the lines. So beggars are lazy people who beg because they are unwilling to work. Nowhere it is said. Beggars are created because of the lack of social welfare scheme. So this is what is inferred from the last line. The underlying disease is the failure of the state to protect citizen who falls through the social security net. So this is what is inferred from the last line. Because the state is unable to provide social welfare scheme to the people of the state. So the underlying disease is the failure of the state to protect citizens who fall through the social security net, because like they are not able to provide the social welfare scheme to the people of the state. So that's why they have to beg. So beggars are created because of the lack of social welfare scheme. Begging is an offense that has to be dealt with firmly, but this is not an offense, right? The court case had eradicated the idea that it is an disease or offense. So this is not an offense, and begging has to be banned because it adversely affects the welfare of the state. This is also not inferred. Okay, so they are saying that begging is not a disease. Okay, and judgment and high court is also eradicating the idea that it is a disease. And what is the actual problem? The actual problem is that the state is not able to provide social welfare scheme to the people of its state, and that's why they have to beg, and that's why they are poor basically. So yeah, that's it. This is what is inferred from the passage. So when you read these passages 1 or 2 times, you will be able to understand, right? And if you are not able to understand from here, just read these lines. After reading these lines, you will also get a brief idea what is actually being told in the passage. So sometimes when I am not able to understand these points, I read these points. Then I get some idea about uh, the paragraph as well. Okay, so this is what you should do. Let's do this problem now. So basically this is a problem of Venn diagram. So there are, in a college there are three student club we will make: drama, is there, something else, dancing is there, and maths club is there. Okay, drama, dancing, and maths, these clubs are there. Okay, so 60 students are only in drama, 60 are only in drama. So these many students we are talking about, these are the 60 students which are only in drama. Okay, 60 students are already only in drama, and 80 students are only in dance club. 80 students, that means these many students, right? And 30 students are only in math club. 30 students are only in maths club. Let's read this line: two students are all in all clubs. Two students are in all clubs. Now they are saying 40 students are both in drama and dance. Drama and dance, 40 students are there. So 2 is already there, 38 will be here. So 38 plus 2, 40. 40 will be in drama and dance, right? 12 students are both in dance and maths. Dance and maths, 12 students are there. So 2 already there, 10 will be in dance and maths. Are you getting this point? This 3 represents only these many people, which are, what does 3 represents? The students which are in drama and dancing, but not in all 3, or we can say which are in drama and dancing but not in mathematics. The students which are in both drama and dancing but not in mathematics, these many students are these 3 students. What does this 10 represent? 10 represents the students which are in dancing and mathematics but not in drama. They are in dancing and mathematics but not in drama. Okay. What does this 10 plus 2, 12 represents? 12 represents the students which are in dancing and mathematics. So here it is written 12 students are both in dance and maths. So this 12 represents which are in both dance and maths. And 7 students are both in drama and maths club. So what I will write here? 5. Right? So 7 students are both in drama and maths. Drama and maths. 5 plus 2, 7. So these many students are there. Okay, now what is the last line? If 70% of the students in the college are not in any of these clubs, so all these students are only 25%. all these students are only 25% of the college population. So how many total students are there? Total students in clubs. Total students in clubs. They are 60 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 10 plus 80 plus 30. So that would be 60, 70, 100, 180 and 190, I guess. Or let me check. Wait. There is a slight error here. This is 38 actually, not 3. Okay, because 40 students are there in both drama and dancing. 40 students are there both in drama and dancing club. So this will be 38. What I am doing. This will be 38. So this is 100, 105, 195 and 30, 225. 225 students. Now they are the 75%. There are, if 75% of the students in the college are not in any of the clubs, that means let's assume there are total X student in the college. So only 25% of the students are there in club, and that is 225. So what is the value of X? That will be 900. So total 900 students are there. Go to my point. So total 900 students are there. Out of 225, out of 900, only 225 are there in some club. Okay, so 900 students are there, 225 are there in some clubs. So the total number of students in the college is 900. Go to my point. 25% are there in the clubs. So if total is X, then 25% of X is 225. Let's see this question. There are 5 students allocated to 3 of 5 students allocated to a hostel put in special request to the warden. So X, Y and Z are giving some special request to the warden on what kind of room they want, and you have to fulfill the request of everyone. So how will you arrange them? That is the question. Okay. So request by X. What is the request by X? That is, due to pollen allergy, I want to avoid a wing next to the garden. So X, these are the rooms. This is the room. This is a room. This is a room. This is a room, and this is a room. These are 5 rooms. Okay. WR means washroom. This is washroom. This is washroom. These two are washroom, and these are 5 rooms. So what X is saying, that I want to avoid a wing next to the garden. So X cannot be here. X cannot be here. So is there any option where X is here? Yeah. X cannot be near to the garden. So this option is cut. Okay. This option is cut. So X cannot be at this side. That means X cannot be here as well. X cannot be here as well at both of the room. So X can be here, here or here. So here X can be here as well. X can be here as well. So all these are possibilities. Okay. Now let's see the request by Y. I want to live as far from the washroom as possible, since I am very sensitive to the smell. So these are the washroom. He want to live as far as possible. Okay. Let's check in this diagram. What will be the farthest from this washroom? This, and from this washroom as well. Like this will be the farthest. This point will be farthest from both of the washrooms. If you say that I am living, if you say that I am living here, that means this will be near to this washroom, but farther from this, but near to this. But what will be the farthest? Farthest will be this, but this is the entrance, so he can't live here. Now he have to check. Now he have to check. He has 2 rooms. This X and Y. 2 rooms are left. X and Y. Okay. So where X could stay? X could stay here, here, or here. Right? Where Y could, now where Y can stay? So Y will want to stay either here or here, because this will be farthest from here, although it is nearer, a bit nearer it is, but farthest from here at least. Or he would live here. It is bit nearer from here, but farthest at least from here. So there are 2 possibilities for Y. These are the 2 possibilities for Y, and these are the possibilities for X. Now the option is, so this is cut and this is also cut, because y will not want to stay here, right? Because this is nearer to washroom. Y would at least want to stay here or here. So this is also cut. Now for z, I believe in Vastu, so I want to stay in the southwest wing. So z would want to stay in the southwest. Where is southwest? This is southwest. Southwest. So in between southwest. So here you want to stay, and z will want to stay here or here. Okay. So only in one option z is staying in the southwest. That is option B. And x can stay here. Yeah, x can stay here. Y can stay here. Yeah, y can stay here. So that's it. So only D option is fulfilling all. So X has three chances: here, here, or here. X can stay here, here, or here. X is staying here. Okay, that is fine for him. Y can stay here or here. Y is staying here. Okay. Now Z can stay in southwest direction only. That means Z can stay here only. Okay. So this is the location of Z. So D is the correct answer. Easy question. This is also correct. So D is the correct answer. So these kind of question we are solving. Now we will see more questions. Okay. So let's solve this problem. So the fisherman dash the flood victims out their lives were rewarded by the government. So you can read the statement like this. You can, if there are two commas now, if there whenever you see two commas, you can drop that in between comma statement. Okay, so you can read the statement like this: the fishermen were rewarded by the government. So why they were rewarded? Because they saved the life of some flood victims. So the fishermen to whom flood victims owed their life. So to whom? Like, have you heard these statements? Like, I owe my life to you. I owe my life to you. This line. I owe my life to you. I owe my life to you. That means if he is alive today, it's because of you. If I am alive today, it's because of you. And if you want to question this, how will you question this? Whom do you owe your life to? This is how you can ask. Or to whom do you owe your life? So whenever there is a sentence which is starting from WH word, what are WH word? Who, whom, whose, and in the end you have to use to. So you can take that to before as well. So there are two ways. Both are same only. Both are same. Okay. So whom do you owe your life to, or to whom do you owe your life? So similarly here, the fisherman. So the flood victims are owing their life to the fisherman. The flood victims are owing their life to the fisherman. So the fishermen to whom the flood victim owed their life were rewarded by the government. So to whom? Well and good. To whom? And if the statement was like this, the fishermen dash the flood victims owed their lives to. If there was to written, then only whom would have come here. Okay, whom would have come here if to was written there, because I told you to can be there as well. To can be in the end of the statement as well. The fishermen whom the flood victims owed their lives to were rewarded by the government. Okay, so just remember this thing as well. So second question, some students were not involved in the strike. So this is a very good question actually. So the statement given is some students were not involved in the strike. So now, can you tell that some students were involved in the strike? The statement given is some students were not involved in the strike. Now, it's not necessary that some students were involved. We can take one example. Okay, so we are five people. We are five people. Okay, Ramesh, Suresh, whoever. Three of us are going to the market. Does that mean two of us are not going to the market? Who knows they are going to the school? We are five people. Three of us are going to the market. There is no mention about two of us. There is no mention about two of us. They can stay at home. They can go to they can go to the school. They can go to a club. They can go anywhere. Okay, but comment is there about three of us only. So whatever there is the comment, think about that only. Now if they are saying that some students were not involved in the strike, now you can't conclude that some were involved in the strike. It's not necessary. So there will be two Venn diagrams. There will be two Venn diagrams. There can be two possible cases. So this is the diagram for students and this is the diagram for strike. Okay. So they are saying that some students were not involved in the strike. It is right. Yeah. Some students were not involved in the strike. The second one, some students were not involved in the strike. Student and strike. So here also some students were not involved in the strike. Although here all the students are not involved in the strike, but in all some is already there. I told you one thing in this lecture only, in some of the previous question, that couple, from couple what is greater? Few. And from few some is greater. From some several. And from several all. So if they are talking about some, that means all is already there. I mean, if they are talking about some, that means all cases can also be there. That some students were not involved in the strike. Now it can happen that all were not involved. There is no comment about the other two. So other two or the rest of those. So these two cases can be there. Okay. So let's read the statement one by one. Some who were involved in the strike were student. Here that is possibility, but here that is not possibility. So this is not certain. So this is not correct. Some who were involved in the strike were students. So these guys are involved in the strike and they are student. Okay, this will come here. This will come. But what is the second one? Some who are involved in the strike were student, but there is no one student here. There is no student here. Those guys who are involved in the strike, they are no student. That's why statement 1 is wrong. Only the statement will be true if it follows both of the Venn diagram. Second student, no student was involved in the strike. Here no student is involved in the strike, but here some of the students are involved in the strike. So this will also be no. Third, at least one student was involved in the strike. Here at least one student is involved in the strike, but here no student is involved in the strike. So this is also wrong. Now see, read this one. Some who were not involved in the strike were student. So there are these guys. Here there are these guys who were not involved in the strike. These guys were not involved in the strike. They were students. Yes, they were students. This follows. Some who are not involved in the strikes. Some who are not involved in the strike. They are the people who are not involved in the strike. And some of them are student. Yes, they are the student. Okay. So who are not involved in the strike? All these people, this complete page. All these people were not involved in the strike. So some of them were students. Yeah, some of them were students. Some of them were students. Some of them were students here as well. So only fourth statement is true. Fourth one is true. Okay. And if you read the statement carefully, this statement and this statement is similar only. Some students were not involved in the strike. Some who were not involved in the strike were students. Some students were not involved in the strike. Some who were not involved in the strike were students. So exactly ditto statement can be inferred. Okay. And logically necessary. It is the logic necessary that it is certain. And all three upper one were not certain. Are you getting my point? So let's see next question now. Although these kind of questions are confusing in the examination, you can't think that much through in the examination, right? So I would prefer dropping these kind of questions. But थोड़ा से लगने लगता है एग्जाम में कि इसको तो अटेम्प्ट कर ही दूं यार, इजी क्वेश्चन है. It may give you -1.33 marks sometimes. Okay. Let's see this question. The radius as well as the height of a circular cone, the radius as well as height of a circular cone increases by 10%. The percentage increase in its volume is. So the percentage increase in its volume. So what is the initial volume? That was pi r square h. And look why I am smiling. So we will solve this problem. I will just tell you one incident of my school. Okay. So we call this cone in Hindi Shanku. Okay. In Hindi we call the cone as Shanku. And I am a Hindi medium student. Okay. So most of the guys there didn't know what do we call Shanku in English. They didn't know. So our teacher was teaching us about cone. So he brought a structure of cone and he said that ye cone hai. He said that ye cone hai. That means he was saying that this is the cone. This is the cone. And when he said ye cone hai, people, students of my class replied Shanku. Okay, this seems lame here, but at that time it sounded funny. मतलब टीचर लेके आया एक कौन को, कौन लेके आया वो, ठीक है, एंड ही वाज सेइंग ये कौन है, ये कौन है, दैट मीन्स ही वाज सेइंग ये शंकु है. बट लोगों ने सोचा कि टीचर पूछ रहा है ये कौन है भाई, ये कौन है, ये क्या है, शंकु है ये. ओके, लेम जोक, लेम जोक. ओके ओके, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द प्रॉब्लम. Yeah, so radius as well as height of a cone is increased by 10%. Okay, so radius is increased by 10%. That means initially the radius was r, now the radius would have become 1.1 into r, right? Initially it was r and increase is 10%. So r plus r into 10 by 100. So r plus 0.1 r, that would be 1.1 r. Okay, increase is 10%. I had 100 rupees, 10% increase is there. So 100 plus 100 into 10 by 100. So 110 rupees I would be having, right? Simple mathematics. So it is increased to this much value, and the same increase is there in the height as well. So height would be 1.1 h. Okay, so what would be our new volume? Let's call this one as v1, this would be our v2. So what would be v2? V2 would be 1.21 into 1.1, that would be 33.1. No, 3.31 I guess. 1.21 into 1.1, basically 1.1 cube. 1.1 cube, it would be 1.331. 1.331, sorry, yeah, 1.331 pi r square h. Okay, so what is the percentage increase? Percentage increase, that would be final minus initial upon initial, right? Final is 1.331 pi r square h minus initial pi r square h upon pi r square h, and percentage increase they are asking, so we have to multiply by 100. So this would 0.331, so it would become 33.1%, right? Just solve this problem. Pi r square h will get cancelled. 1.331 minus 1 by 1, so 0.331 into 100, so it would become 33.1. So 33.1 is the answer. Now let's see the fourth question. Fourth one we can see here. So 5 numbers are there, 10, 7, 5, 4, 2 are to be arranged in a sequence from left to right following the direction given as shown. So 5 numbers are there. Okay, no two odd number or even number are next to each other. Okay, so what are odd number here? Odd numbers are 7 and 5. Odd numbers are 7 and 5, and even numbers are 10, 4, 2. So odd two even number or two odd number cannot be together. That's the case. The second number from left is exactly half of the leftmost number. The second number from left is, the second number from left, this one, the second number from left is exactly the half of the leftmost number. Leftmost number. So this is the leftmost number. So 5 is half of 10 and 2 is half of 4. So do you think 4 2 can be there? This number is half of the leftmost number. 4 2 can be there? No, because two odd or two even number cannot be with each other. So it has to be 10, here 10 and here 5, right? So the second number from left is exactly half of the leftmost number. Okay, so where will be 7? 7 has to be here, because 7 cannot be there and 7 cannot be here as well. So 7 has to be here. The middle number is exactly twice of the rightmost number. Middle number is twice of the rightmost number. So rightmost number has to be 2 and middle number will be 4. That's it. Okay. So even, odd, even, odd, even. So what is the second number from right? Second number from right is 7. Very easy question. These kind of questions should be solved by you on your own. Second number from right, that is 7. Let's see this question. Until Iran came along, India had never been defeated. Right? Third form will be used. India had never been defeated. India had never been defeated in Kabaddi. Let's see sixth one. Okay, this is a good question. Since the last 1 year, after a 125 basis point reduction in repo rate, I don't know what is 125 basis point reduction and what is repo rate. Although I know what is repo rate, I will explain you what is repo rate. But even if you don't know, how will you solve this problem in the exam? That I will tell you now. Okay. So since the last 1 year, after a 125 basis point reduction in repo rate by Reserve Bank of India, banking institutions have been making a demand to reduce interest rate on small savings schemes. Finally, the government has announced yesterday a reduction in interest rate of small savings scheme to bring them on par with fixed deposit rates. What do you mean by on par with? That means to equal, on par with, nearly equal. Okay, that means nearly equal, on par with, nearly equal. Okay, let me explain you what is a repo rate. Okay, so there are these commercial banks, and there is this RBI, Reserve Bank of India, and there are these people. Right? Now, if you take loan from bank, they will apply some interest. Right? Let's assume you are taking 500 rupee loan from the bank. So they will say that I will take 10% interest per year. That means at the end of the year, you will have to give them 500 plus 10% of it. That means 50. So 550 rupees you have to give them. So these kind of interest rate is there. Okay. Now from where bank will have the money? From where bank will have the money? One source is people. People deposit their money in the bank, and in the return they get some interest rate. Let's assume I deposit my money in the bank and I get interest rate of 1%. Right? I deposit 500 rupees. After 1 year, I get interest rate of 1%. That means after 1 year, I will get 505 rupees. Always this loan rate will be higher than the interest rate that people get. Okay, loan rate will always be higher because bank also have to make money. So now this is one way that people give the money to the bank. One more way is there that RBI, Reserve Bank of India, also give money to the bank, and now they take interest. The same way that bank give money to the people, bank gives money to the people and take interest rate. In the same way, RBI gives money to the bank and they also take interest. And the rate of that is known as repo rate. Repo rate. Okay. So currently the repo rate is 4% in India, as far as I know. So RBI will give money to the bank at 4% of interest rate. Okay. So this is what repo rate means. So just wanted to give you an economics class. Yeah. So now we don't know what is repo rate. For now, we don't know what is repo rate. So reduction in repo rate by Reserve Bank of India, banking institutions have been making a demand to reduce interest rate on small savings schemes. So there are banking institutes that they are demanding to reduce the interest rate on small savings schemes. Now the government has announced that there will be some reduction in the small saving schemes, and now the interest rate will be equal to the fixed deposit interest rate. Okay, so the interest rate will be equal to the fixed deposit interest rate. So which of the following statement can be inferred from the passage? So whenever the Reserve Bank of India reduces the repo rate, the interest rate on small saving schemes are also reduced. No, it is not reduced by their own, because the banking institute make the demand. Banking institutes made the demand. That's why government reduced the interest rate on small saving schemes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have. So this statement is wrong. The statement is saying that if repo rate is reduced, then automatically interest rate on small saving schemes will also be reduced. but it is not necessary. Since the banking institutes make a demand, that's why the interest rate on small saving machines schemes were reduced. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been reduced, right? So first statement is wrong. Now, interest rate on small saving schemes are always maintained on par with fixed deposit interest rate. Is it always maintained? No. Since banking institutes made a demand to reduce the interest rate on small saving schemes, that's why the government reduced the rate and now it is equal to the fixed deposit interest rate. It's not necessary that it will always be equal. The repo rate was reduced, so the banking institute wanted to reduce the interest rate on small saving schemes, and that's why now the interest rate on small saving schemes are equal to the fixed deposit interest rate. It is not always maintained. Okay, it was demanded, that's why it is maintained. So this is also wrong. Government sometimes take into consideration the demands of banking institution before reducing the interest rate on small saving schemes. Yeah, in this paragraph it is showing that the government considered the demand of banking institution and reduced the interest rate on small saving schemes. So government sometimes takes into consideration the demands of banking institutions before reducing the interest rate on small saving schemes. So they consider the demand of banking institutions. So C option is correct. Let's read D option. A reduction in interest rate on small saving schemes follow only after a reduction in repo rate by Reserve Bank of India. This is not necessary. This is one of the reason, but not the only reason. There only is written. This is one of the reason that RBI reduced the repo rate, so banking institutions demanded to reduce the interest rate on small savings schemes. But this is not necessary. This is one of the reasons. So this is also incorrect. So the only feasible option that looks like was C. So C is the correct answer. So that's how, if you solve these kind of problems with a cool mind, then you will be able to click the right answer. Otherwise, these kind of problems create negative marks only, minus 2.66 or plus 2. Okay, minus 2.66 or plus 2. On other hand, if you are getting 48 marks, this minus 2.66 would make it 45.33, or otherwise you will get 50. From 48 to 50, this much of marks. Okay, this is very important. These kind of question you should always solve with a great patience. Okay, one thing I told wrong here. 48 marks you were getting, and if you get it wrong, you will get 47.33. Sorry. Okay, very bad mathematics. And if you get it right, it will be 50. So 2.66 marks benefit. Okay, that was very bad mathematics यार. ये तो मैं ऐसे यूट्यूबर्स की तरह कर दिया यार. ठीक है, that was very bad mathematics from my side. I am really sorry for that. Okay, that was just for fun. Let's see this question. In a country of 1,400 million population, 70% own mobile. Among the mobile phone users, only 294 million access the internet. So only 294 million people have the internet. Among these internet users, only half buys goods from e-commerce portal. What are e-commerce portal? Amazon, Zepto, Blinkit, Zomato. Goods they are asking. Okay, the Blinkit, Zomato are, these are for food. So goods, for goods, Flipkart is there, Amazon is there, Meesho is there, these kind of e-commerce platform. Okay, so out of 294 people, only half of them buys goods from e-commerce portal. So what is half of 294? That is 147. Yeah, so 174 million people buys good from e-commerce portal. So what is the percentage of the buyers in the country? What is the percentage of these buyers? That means what is the percentage of people who buy the goods from e-commerce portal? So 147 out of 1400 million. So what it will be? Nearly 10%, right? So 10.50. So nearly 10%. Let's see this question. Very easy question. The nomenclature of Hindustani music has changed over the centuries since the medieval period. Drupad style was identified as Banis or Banis, what is. So Drupad was identified as Bani. Bani, or what we can say. So which one of the following pair is not correct? So Drupad was identified as Banis. Gaiki and Baz were used to refer to vocal and instrumentation styles respectively. That means Gaiki was used to refer to vocal and Baz was used to refer to instrumental. Okay, so Gaiki was used to refer to vocal. So this is also correct. Now Baz was referred to instrumental, not institution. Okay, this is written institution. So Baz was referred to institution. No, sorry, Baz was referred to instrumental, not institution. So that's why this is wrong. That means this will be the correct option. Which of them is not correct? So which is not correct? Baz. Baz was referred to instrumental, not institution. And Gharana originally referred to hereditary musician from a particular lineage. So Gharana with lineage. Okay, so this is also correct. So only C option is not correct. Baz was referred to instrumental style, not institution style. So C option. Let's see the ninth question. Very easy question. These kind of question we have already solved. So first train traveled north at a speed of 80 kmph. They are traveling to north at 80 kmph. And the second train traveled to south at 100 kmph. 100 kmph. So what is the relative speed? Tell me. What will be the relative speed? 20 or 180? They are working in the opposite direction. So relative speed will be 180 km per hour. That will be relative speed. So the time at which they were 540 km apart. So how much hour it will take? In 1 hour, 180 km. 540 km in how much hour? 3 hours. 540 km in how much hour? 3 hours. Because in 1 hour they are going 180 km. So in 3 hours they will be going 540 km. Okay. So they started at 7 a.m. and 3 hours after that it will be 10 a.m. So B is the correct answer. That's it. One is going 80 km, one is 100 km. So the relative speed is 180 km. Okay. So in 1 hour they are walking 180 km away apart. They are getting 180 km apart in 1 hour. So in 3 hours they will be 540 km apart. So 7 a.m. they started, 7 plus 3 hours, 10 a.m. That's it. Now this 10th question is also very interesting. So I read somewhere that in ancient times the prestige of a kingdom depended upon the number of taxes that it was able to levy on its people. So what do they mean here? That he read it somewhere that in ancient time the prestige means glory. The glory of a kingdom depended on the number of taxes that it can impose on its people. Right? So if they are imposing more tax on the people, of the country, that means they will have the more glory. Let's assume government is increasing the tax. So will you appreciate the government? Okay, they are increasing the tax. That means they are doing very good for the country. Now people will know our country. People will appreciate our country. But this is what he read somewhere, that in ancient time the glory of a kingdom was dependent on the amount of tax that can be imposed on its people. It was very much like the prestige of a headhunter in his own community. So what do you understand by this line? It was very much like the prestige of a headhunter in his own community. So there is a community of headhunter. So the one who hunts the most of the head, that means who kills most of the people. Community of headhunter means basically you can say community of criminal. So in community of criminal, the guy who kills most of the people, he will be the most powerful, or he will have the most glory. That he is the guy who murdered 10 people. So he will have all the glory. But that is wrong. That thing is wrong. So he is equalizing this thing to the thing that he read. He is equalizing this thing to the thing that he read. Okay. Now, based on the graph above, the prestige of a headhunter depended on what? You tell me. The prestige of a headhunter depended upon the prestige of the kingdom, the prestige of the heads, the number of taxes he could levy, the number of head he could gather. You think about it and tell me the answer. If you read the paragraph very quickly, what you will do? The prestige of headhunter depended upon the number of taxes he could levy. There you will click. But this is wrong. He is equalizing this thing. The prestige of headhunter will be depended upon the number of heads he could gather. If he is getting, his name is headhunter. Headhunter. So if he is hunting more heads, that means he will have the more prestige. That's it. So the number of heads he could gather. So it's not that they are asking what can be inferred from the graph. What can be inferred from the graph? That what was happening in the past, that was wrong. That if the kingdom is imposing the tax on its people, then that thing is wrong. It's like the prestige of a headhunter in his own community. That some guy is hunting his head, some guy is hunting their heads. Still, he has the more prestige because he is a headhunter. Everyone is afraid of him. Why everyone is afraid of a headhunter? Because he could gather the heads of them. That means he could kill them. That's why he has the prestige. Actually, that is not a prestige. They are actually afraid of him. So in the same way, people are afraid of the kingdom because they could impose more tax on them. Are you getting this point? So he is equalizing two things. One thing is this headhunter and kingdom imposing the taxes. He is equalizing. He is comparing these two things. Are you getting my point? So the prestige of a headhunter doesn't depend on the kingdom. It doesn't depend on the tax he could levy. It depends on the head he could gather. That's it. Okay, so you don't need to be confused. So that's why I said it is a good question. Okay, so C is not the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Okay, well and good. So these kind of question you should think in the examination. So let's solve this set now. Once the team of analysts identified the problem, we dash in a better position to comment on this. So there are some analysts available in the team. Analyst that in team there are some analysts available. So once they identify the problem, we will be in a better position to comment on the issue. So I told you if there is present tense, there can be future tense. Are going to be, this is also possible. Will be, this is also possible. Might be, this is also possible. But if there is present tense, here you can't expect we were to be in a better position. अगर वो आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं तो ऐसा होगा. If they are identifying this, this will happen. If this happens, this will happen. If this happens, this is going to be happen. If this happens, this might be happening. Okay, if this happens, this might be happening. But if this happens, this would have happened. This is not correct. If this happens, this would have happened. कि अगर ये होता है तो वो शायद हो जाता. This statement is wrong, right? Not were to be. So this is not correct. That means B will be the answer because they are asking cannot fill the blank. Okay. So always remember the sentence can be if this thing happens, if statement A happens, statement B will be happening, will happen, or is going to happen, or might happen. But it can't be the case if statement A happens, that means statement 2 would have happened, or statements 2 were happening. So these kind of things, or was happening, these kind of things cannot be there. Getting my point? Let's move on to the next problem. A final examination is the, okay, we don't know the meaning of anything. I would have dropped the question, but I will write the meaning of all these words now. Okay, so that we could answer it. So whenever I saw this question first, I didn't know anything about it, so I would have dropped this question, but we will Google the meanings now. So what actually I would have done in the examination? So a final examination is the blank of a series of evaluation that a student has to go through. So I know the meaning of two things here, B and C. Desperation, like he is desperate to get good marks, right? Or you must have heard he is desperate to get that girl. So these words are used in that sense as well. Desperate, like I am desperate for it. I am desperate for securing All India rank 1. So he is desperate. So desperation word. So desperation doesn't fit here. A final examination is the desperation of a series of evaluation. Doesn't make any sense. Consultation of series of evaluation doesn't make any sense. Consultation means to consult someone, to give them advice. So it doesn't make any sense. These two doesn't make any sense. But I don't know the meaning of A and D. So I either would have gone for a guess or I would have simply dropped the question. So it depends on the examination. If I was doing very well, I would have gone for the guess. And if I was in the middle of the examination, like around 500, 600 rank, I would never take a guess. I would drop this question. So let's see the meaning. What is the meaning of this culmination and insinuation? So let's see the meaning. Okay, so these are the meanings. So culmination means highest point of something, and insinuation means suggesting something in a bad manner. So what do you think? What will be the answer? A or D? A is the correct answer, because that means that an examination is the highest point of a series of evaluation. I will give one more example of culmination. That is like getting AIR1 is the culmination of years of hard work. Getting AIR1 is the culmination. Yeah, getting AIR1 is the culmination of years of hard work. So that means that is the highest point of years of hard work. That means that is the point where all the things end. So I did the hard work and now I got AIR1. So that is the culmination. That is the peak point. So this is what it means here, that a final examination is the peak point of a series of evaluations. So that is the peak point. A final examination is a peak point of series of evaluations that a student has to go through. Okay. So it is a series of evaluation, and that is the peak. Final examination is the peak point of series of evaluation. What is an exam? Exam is a series of evaluation. And what is the final exam? It is the peak point of a series of evaluation. Got my point? So A would come. And insinuation means suggesting something in a bad manner. Like there is some guy who is suggesting you something, but in a sarcastic way. He is suggesting you something, but in a sarcastic way. Have you seen the 12th Fail movie? In 12th Fail movie, that guy goes to that IAS officer and he says that you can't do it. You will never be able to crack IAS. So that was insinuation from that IAS officer, that you will not be able to crack that exam. So that was a suggestion, but in a bad manner. So that's where we can use insinuation. So I just googled the word. I am not a Oxford graduate. My English is not that strong, but we just need to answer. We just need to get maximum marks. So we can't say we will get 15 out of 15. So these kind of questions we should drop. Okay. And if there is a good day, you take a guess on A, then it will be right. So let's move on to the next problem. So IMHO is written as J and IP. So I next word is J, M next word is N, H next word is I, O next word is P, I next word is J, D next word is E, K next word is L, S next word is T, O next word is P. So I next word is J, D next word is E, C next word is G, J, E, D. B option is correct. Okay, let's move on to the fourth question. If you are doing it on your own, let me tell you, this was marks to all. Okay, so why it was marks to all? Let's solve this problem now. Yeah, so there are three integers x, y, z. The product is 192. X into y into z is 192. Z is equals to 4. If z is equals to 4, that means x into y would be 192 by 4. So it would be 48, right? So x into y is 48. X into y is 48. Now P is the average of x and y. So P is x plus y by 2. So P is the average of x and y. Now what is the minimum value of P? So we know one thing, that x and y, multiplication of x and y is 48. Multiplication of x and y is 48. And x and y are integer. So what can be the possible cases? 1 and 48, 2 and 24, 3 and 48 you need 16, 4 and 48 you need. So 48 you need, so 4 1 therefore 12, then 5 6 6 and 8, right? And then again 8 and 6, then again 8 and 6 will come, so that is the case here only, right? And you need to take the average. So in the first case, what will be the average? 49 by 2, the average would be 49 by 2. Here the average would be 26 by 2, that means 13. Here the average will be 16 plus 3, 19 by 2, that means 9.5. Here the average would be 12 plus 4, 16 by 2, 8. And here the average would be 7. What did I miss? I missed something. 19, 19 by 2, 26, 49 by 2, 7, 8, 9.5. When I solved this question, I was getting something else. Okay, yeah, so this is the only possible option. So I guess we are getting the answer here, that is 7. That's it. What is the minimum possible value of P? That is 7. I don't know why it was marks too all. It was marks too all. Okay, I don't know the reason why it was marks too all. Okay, yeah. So answer we are getting is 7. If anyone knows why it was marks too all, why everyone was given marks in this one, so they can comment down. I don't think there is any reason. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. Are there enough seats here? There are blank people than I expected. What do you think? What will be the answer? More. Always use the same phrase to get the clarity. Let's we need to use the phrase than I expected. Than I expected. So I got more marks than I expected. Will you use I get many marks than I expected? No. Will you use I get most marks than I expected? No. Will you use I get least marks than I expected? No. You will say I get more marks than I expected. I got more marks than I expected. Okay. So from expectation you are getting more. So D option is correct. So this is basic English. So you will be able to answer this. Yeah. So next one. Now this word is there, fiscal deficit. Let's assume you don't know the meaning of fiscal deficit. Okay. So fiscal deficit was 4% of the GDP in 2015. That increased to 5% in 2016. If the GDP increased by 10% from 2015 to 2016, then the percentage increase in the actual fiscal deficit is. We don't know what is fiscal deficit. Okay. But we at least know what is GDP. We should know what is GDP. Right. So let's assume, because we are playing with the percentage, we can assume any value now. In 2015, let's assume our GDP was 100 rupees. In 2015, our GDP was 100 rupees. So fiscal deficit was 4% of the GDP. Then this fiscal deficit would have been 4% of GDP. That means rupees 4. Let's talk about 2016. In 2016, our GDP, if the GDP increased by 10% from 2015 to 2016, that means GDP increased by 10%. So 10% of 100, that means GDP would have become 110 now. Now what is fiscal deficit? Now fiscal deficit is 5. So fiscal deficit was 4% of GDP in 2015 and that increased to 5% in 2016. So in 2016, the fiscal deficit was 5%. It is written that increased to. Okay. That increased to. So from 5% we are going to, sorry, from 4% we are going to 5%. It's not increased by 5%. Are you getting my point? It is not increased by 5%. It is increased to 5%. If they had said it is increased by 5%, that means rupees for 5% of this, what would be 5% of this? That would be 0.2. So our this fiscal deficit would have been 4.2 rupees. But they are saying that it is increased to 5%. That means 5% of this. It is increased to 5% in 2016. So 5% of GDP. So what is the 5% of 110? 5% of 110. That would be 5.5 rupees. Now our fiscal deficit is 5.5 rupees. So what is the actual increase in the fiscal deficit? What will be the increase? This is FD1, we can say FD2, this is GDP1, this is GPT2. So what is the percentage increase? final minus initial upon initial into 100 as well. 1.5 by 4 into 100. 150 by 4. 150 by 4. 37.5%. So that is the answer. Got my point? Fiscal deficit increased from 4% to 5%. So it was 4% of GDP in the year 2015. So if GDP was 100 rupees, then fiscal deficit was rupees 4. In 2016, if GDP was 110 rupees, because GDP was increased by 10%. GDP was increased by 10%. That means 10% of this. So it was increased by 10%. So rupees 110. Now fiscal deficit is increased to 5%. That initially it was 4%. So 4% of 100 rupees, that would be rupees 4. Now 5% of 110 rupees, that is 5.5 rupees. So what is the percentage increase? 5.5 minus 4 upon 4 into 100, 37.5%. Well and good. Let's see the next question. 7th question. Very easy question and very straightforward question. I have told you one method. We will solve by that method only. We will assume that what we will assume? We will assume the volume of the tank. Okay. So two pipes are there. P can fill the pipe in 6 hours. P can fill the pipe in 6 hours. Q can fill the pipe in 9 hours. And R can empty the pipe in 12 hours, I guess. 12 hours. Empty. It empties. Now initially P and R are open for 4 hours. This and that is given. So what you will do? First thing you will do is take LCM of this. You have to take LCM. What will be the LCM? That would be 36. So we will assume that our tank is of 36 liter. How do I get the LCM this much quickly? How do you get the LCM? Let's assume you need to get the LCM of 6, 9 and 12. So say the table of 12. 12 into 12 1 is 12, 12 2 is 24, 12 to the 12 3 is 36. Now in 12, 6 and 9 are divisible? No. For 24, 6 and 9 are divisible? No. For 36, 6 is divisible, 9 is also divisible and 12 is also divisible. So the lowest number which is divisible for 6, 9 and 12, that would be the LCM of 6, 9 and 12. So that would be 36. वह छोटी से छोटी संख्या जिसमें 6, 9 और 12 का भाग जाता है वह लघुत्तम समापवर्त्य होती है. So in Hindi we say that लघुत्तम समापवर्त्य. Okay. So what will be the LCM of 6, 9 and 12? 6, 9 and 12 LCM will be 36. So just say the table of the largest number. 12, okay, 24, 36, okay, 36, 6, 9. That's it. Now P takes 6 hours. That means it will give you 6 liter per hour. Right? P will give you 6 liter per hour. Q takes 9 hours. That means it will give you 4 liter per hour. And R takes out the water from the tank in 12 hours. That means it will take out in 3 liter per hour. It will take out 3 liter per hour. That's why minus sign is there. Okay. So it will take out 3 liter per hour. Now initially P and R are open for 4 hours. If P and R are open, that means 6 minus 3 liter per hour is being fed. That means 3 liter per hour is being fed. P and R both are open. So P is giving 6 liter per hour and R is taking out 3 liter per hour. So in 1 hour 3 liter is given. So 3 liter per hour is given. And they are open for 4 hours. That means 12 liter is given. Now what is happening? Now P is closed and Q is opened. And after 6 more hours R is closed. So P is closed and Q is open. So now Q and R are working for 6 hours. P is closed and Q is open. That means now Q and R are working for 6 hours. So if Q and R are working, that means 4 minus 3 liter per hour. So this was the first action. That was there for 4 hours. Now Q and R are working. That means 1 liter per hour is given. For how much time? For 6 hours. That means 6 liter is given. So total 18 liter is given in how much time? What is the time? 4 plus 6, 10 hours. In 10 hours, we have given 18 liter. Now what is happening? Now R is closed. That means only Q is working. Initially P and R was working. then P was closed and Q was working. So Q and R was working now. Okay, now what is happening? After 6 hours, R is also closed, so only Q is working now. So now Q is working, so total time to fill the tank. So now Q is working. That means 4 liter per hour is given. 4 liter per hour is given. Now you have to fill how much liter water? 18 liter is already filled. Now you have to fill 18 liter more. 18 liter is already filled. You have to fill 36 minus 18, that much liter. That means 18 liter you need to fill more. And in 1 hour, how much liter is given? 4 liter. So it will take 4.5 hour more. So total time taken is 10 plus 4.5, 14.5. Did you get this question or not? If you solve by formulas, you will never be able to solve these kind of questions. I told you one method. PQR working 6, 9, 12. Take LCM. Okay, my tank is of 36 liter. P will give you 6 liter per hour, Q will give you 4 liter per hour, R will give you minus 3 liter per hour. That means it will take out. Initially, P and R are working. That means 3 liter per hour is being fed. So 4 hours they worked. That means 12 liter water they gave. Okay. In the next problem, Q and R are working. So 1 liter per hour they gave for 6 hours. So 18 liter they gave. Now how much water is left? That is 18 liter. We have to give 18 liter more. Now only Q is working. So Q can give 4 liter per hour. So to give 18 liter, how much time it will take? 18 by 4. That means 4.5 hours it will take. Right? So 10 plus 4.5. That means 14.5 hours it will take. That's it. Simple mathematics, simple. Your brain is used here. No formula, nothing. We are using our brain. And when you see the complete lecture, we have solved around 70, 60 here, 70 there. Nearly 140 or 130 question. And I never used any formula. Rarely I used in 1 or 2 question only. So we are not using formula. You will not say the percentage is a formula. That is not a formula. You are engineer, you know that much thing. Right? So we are rarely using any formula. So that's how we will be solving the complete aptitude. And this is what I wanted to deliver in this lecture. That you can solve the aptitude without remembering any formula. That's why I say solve the PYQ, solve the PYQ. If you just solve the PYQ, you will get to know how you can approach the problem in the exam. Good. Let's solve this question. Yeah, this is also an interesting question. So, while teaching a creative writing class in India, I was surprised at receiving stories from the students that were all sat in distant place. So, there is a guy, okay, he was teaching a creative writing class in India. Guy is teaching in India. He is teaching in India. Now, his students wrote some stories, right? I was surprised at receiving stories from the students. So he is teaching in India, the students would have been Indian. The teacher, while teaching a creative class in India, I was surprised at receiving stories from the students. So he is receiving the story from the student and he is teaching in India. So the students is Indian, right? Students are Indian. So he received the stories from the students that were all sat in distant place. So they wrote about distant places. Some wrote about African West with cowboys, and some wrote about this Manhattan penthouse with clinking ice cubes. But no one wrote about India. He was surprised at receiving stories from the students that were all sat in distant places. Okay, they wrote about American West with cowboys and they wrote about Manhattan penthouse. But there is no description or there is nothing they talked about India. Why they did not talk about India? Because they felt that their place is not worthy of being told. So in the next line we can see that this was till an eminent. We understood the meaning of eminent in this lecture only. In some previous sets. What is the meaning of eminent? The one who has more achievements than the other. The one who have more achievements than the other. Right? So this was till an eminent Caribbean writer gave the writers in the once colonized country the confidence to see the shabby lives around them as worthy of being told. So what he mean to say here is that the Indian writers did not used to write about their country. They did not used to write about India. They used to write about American West with cowboys. They used to write about this Manhattan penthouse but they did not used to write about India. Why? Because they thought that their shabby lives are not worthy of being told. That means their shabby lives should not be written in the books. They thought that it's not worthy. But there is an eminent Caribbean writer who gave these writers confidence that their shabby lives are worthy of being told. Did you understand the paragraph? Indians did not used to write about their own country. They used to write about American West with cowboys, Manhattan penthouse. They did not used to write about their country. Why so? Because they did not have the confidence of writing about their shabby lives. But a Caribbean writer, a famous Caribbean writer, gave them the confidence that their shabby lives are worthy of being told, worthy of being written. So now tell me, the writer of the passage. So who is the writer of the passage? The one who is taking the class in India. While teaching a creative class in India, I was surprised. That means who is the writer of the passage? The guy who was taking this writing class in India. Okay, the one who was teaching the writing in India. So he is the writer. So the writer of the passage is surprised by the creative writing assignment of his students, because some of the students had written stories set in foreign places. None of the students had written stories set in India. None of the students had written about Ice Cube and cowboys, and some of the students had written about Ice Cubes and cowboys. So this is not the highlight of the passage, cowboys or Ice Cube. This is just they wrote about them, that American West with cowboys. So none of them had written about the Ice Cube and cowboys. This is already wrong because they wrote about cowboys and Ice Cubes. But this is not a matter of surprise for him. They wrote about Ice Cubes and cowboys. What is the matter of surprise? That they wrote about American West and Manhattan penthouse, but they did not wrote about their own country. So what was the matter of surprise? That they wrote about foreign places, but not for India. They wrote about foreign places, but not about India. So that was the matter of surprise. So tell me which option will be correct. If you read it quickly, you will say that both of the option is correct, A and B. But here it is written some of the students. I need to put the charger. So what is written? Some of the students. But in the passage you can see that I was surprised at receiving stories from the students that were all sat in distant places. That were all sat in different places. So not some. All the students had written stories set in foreign places. If it was all here, then A and B would have been correct. But now B would be correct because none of the students had written stories set in India. They wrote the story for foreign places. They wrote the story about foreign places. And all of them wrote the story about foreign places. So if all was there, then option A would have been correct. So now option B is correct. Not some of the students, all of the students. All of the students had written stories set in foreign places. So that was the matter of surprise for him. The matter of surprise was that all of the students are writing the story about foreign places, but not their own country, India, because they did not have that confidence. Well and good, understood? Let's move on to the next problem. This problem was just to check your calculation, addition. So Mola is a digital platform. Mola. They are talking about Ola, right? So Mola is a digital platform for taxis in a city. It offers 3 types of rides: pool, mini, and prime. The table below represents the number of rides for the past 4 months. So in January, pool was 170 times used, and in February it was 320 times used. So this table is given. What is the percentage share of, and the platform earns $1 for per ride. That means this 170 ride would give them $170. This would give them $320. This would give them $120. So all the rides give them $1. What is the percentage share of revenue contributed by Prime in the total revenue of Mola for the entire duration? So where is Prime? This is Prime. So what is the addition of how much revenue they are getting? 180 plus 120 plus 75 plus 90. So I have to add them up. So 180 plus 120, that would make 390 plus 75. 390 plus 75, 465. You don't need to use calculator for this. So they are making 465 from this. What about this? This would make 400, 470 that would make 570, so 580. Let's do the calculation once again. 400, 510, 580. Okay, well and good. What about this? 35 plus 32, that would make 67, 67, 670 plus 215. 670 plus 215. 588. 885. $885. Now you can do addition. 885 plus 580 plus 465 reciprocal into 465. So 24%, nearly 24%. Percentage share of revenue. This is the correct answer. B is the correct answer, I guess, because nearly 24% I am getting here. Right? Okay, let me check as well if that is the correct answer. Yeah, that is the correct answer only. So this combined is giving me $1930. Right, $1930. So what is the share of prime? 465 by 1930 into 100. That would be nearly 24%. Well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. So X is an online platform. X is an online media provider. By offering unlimited and exclusive online content at attractive prices for a loyalty membership, X is almost forcing its customer towards his loyalty membership. So they are offering unlimited and exclusive online content, and that too at a very attractive price. Right? They are offering a very good content, unlimited and exclusive online content at a very attractive price. What do you mean by attractive price? That means at a very low price for a loyalty membership. And if you take their loyalty membership, you will get the access to unlimited exclusive online content. Unlimited and exclusive online content. X is almost forcing its customer towards his loyalty membership. What do you mean by forcing? That means people are getting attracted towards it. X is almost forcing. That means people are attracted towards this unlimited and exclusive online content because the price is very attractive. Also, in that price, you are getting unlimited exclusive online content. So they are talking about Netflix, I guess. Right? So if its loyalty members continues to grow at its current rate, within next 8 years, more household will be watching X than cable television. So they are saying that if it continues to grow like this, within 8 years, people will not be watching cable television. They will be watching this platform X. So we can think that a platform to be Netflix. So this platform X is providing online content at a very attractive prices. So if it keeps on growing like this, so people will be watching this platform X only. They will not be watching this cable television. So what can be inferred from the graph? So most households that subscribe to X loyalty membership discontinue watching cable television. Yeah. So if they are subscribing to Netflix or this X, so they will be not watching the television. Do you watch the television? You don't know. You don't watch. Most of us don't watch the television nowadays. We watch Prime, Jio Cinema. From there only we watch the cricket match. So most of us don't watch television nowadays. So this is what this paragraph is inferring, that most households that subscribe to X loyalty membership discontinue watching cable television. Now non-members prefer to watch cable television. It's not inferred from this. It's not inferred from this. That non-members are those guys who don't watch movies, cricket, anything. They don't even watch TV. They don't even watch cable television. They don't watch anything. So those guys can also be there, right? So this is not correct. Cable television operators don't subscribe to X loyalty membership. It's not necessary. Cable television operators can also subscribe to X loyalty membership. They are actually subscribing. That's why they will not be watching cable television. They are actually subscribing nowadays. That cable television operators are nowadays subscribing to X loyalty membership. So that's why they are not watching this cable television. So this is also not correct. The X is cancelling amount of non-members. This is nowhere inferred. There is no information about cancelling accounts of non-members. So nothing like that. So only option A is correct. Okay. So let's see the another set. That will be the last set. Okay. So let's see this final set of the question. So the lecture was attended by quite dash students. So the whole was not very quite. Quet. Quit will come here, right? Because this quite means quite This quiet means like kuch, some, and this quiet means to calm, shant, shant. This quiet means shant. So QUIET would come. Now few, FU. So there are three terms. Let me tell you the meaning of each. Few, FU, and the few. Okay, this few gives the meaning of negative, this gives the meaning of positive, and this gives the meaning of zero. Okay, so let's use it. So let's see the example of first one, few. So now I am saying that I have studied few subjects, I will not get a good rank. I have studied few subjects, I will not get good rank. That means the subject that you have studied is not enough. So this gives the meaning of not enough. What about this one? Now, I have studied a few subjects, I will surely get a good rank. I have studied a few subjects, I will get a good rank. So whatever that you have studied, that is more than enough. A positive. I have studied a few subjects, that means I have studied more than enough subjects, I will get a good rank. So this is more than enough. More than that was required. More than that was required. Now for this one, I have studied the few subjects which I was supposed to study, I can get a good rank. I have studied the few subjects which I was supposed to study, I can get a good rank. Now he has studied, let's assume he was supposed to study 5 subjects to get a good rank. So he has studied 5 only. I have studied the few subjects which I was supposed to study, I can get a good rank now. Now he is at 0. He was supposed to study 5 subjects, he has studied those 5 subjects only. So by the sense of the statement, you can get to know that I have studied the few subjects which I was supposed to study, I can get a good rank. Okay, so I will write down these examples. I will pause the video and write down. Okay, so these are the examples you can read. So I hope you have understood the meaning of few, FU, and the few. How do I remember it? I remember that few will give me the meaning of negative. Now this gives me a meaning of negative, and this is also negative. A is also some extra element A is added. So few is giving me meaning of negative, and extra element A is negative. So negative will give me positive. So that's how I actually remember. That's how I remember. Okay, this is just a way to remember. Few gives the meaning of negative. So negative will make it positive. So FU will give me the meaning of positive, and the FU will give me the meaning of zero. And the same goes for little, a little, and the little. The same goes for this. But what is the difference between few and little, a little, the little? This is for countable, this is for uncountable. This is for countable, and this is for uncountable. Like you can say a few children, but you can't say a few water. Water is uncountable. You can't say a few water. You will say a little water. You can say a few children, a few students. This is correct. A few water. This is wrong. A little water. Okay. So this is for used for uncountables, and this is used for countable. So this is the meaning. Now tell me what will come in first question. The lecture was attended by quite a few people, so the hall was not very quiet. The hall was not very quiet. So what it is supposed to be? It is supposed to be filled with the students. The hall is not very quiet. That means there is शोर है वहां पे. There are people making noises. That means the room is supposed to have the people. That's why there is noises. In the hall there is noises. That means the room is supposed to have people. So that's why FU will come. Right? So option C would be correct. FU will come because there are good amount of people. That's why the hall is not very quiet. The people are making noise. So the lecture was attended by quite a few students. So the hall was not very quiet. So this you need to remember. This is a very good concept, very important as well. Now the next one. they have came a long way in dash trust among the users. So in creating after preposition always ing form will be used, except one exception is there, except two. Here present form will be used always. That, let's take the example. This example also we can take, like I am good at bowling, I am good at bowling, I am good at fielding. Okay, I am not talking about making money, I am talking about teaching. I am talking about teaching students. I am not talking about money, I am talking about teaching the students. It's all about learning. It's not about money, it's all about learning. So whenever you are using a verb, it will always have ing form after a preposition, but after two you will use first form, present form. Okay, after two you will use present form. I don't know the spelling of present. Present it will be, yeah, present. Pre shows the time, that's why it will be present. That's how I remember. Per or pre. Pre gives the sense of time. So that's why in tense it will be present. Present. That's how I remember. Okay. So present form. I am going to buy a book. I am going to buy a book. Buy is the verb here. So present form. I am going to kill you. Kill is the verb. Present form is used. So after two, only preposition is two. After two, we will use always present form. Okay. And after all the preposition, always ing is used. Please prevent me from killing this guy. Please prevent me from killing this guy. From verb, ing form. Okay, so after preposition, always ing form is used. So they have came a long way in creating trust among the users. Let's move on to the next problem, third one. On a horizontal ground, yeah, so a call came in between. So let's solve the problem again. So on a horizontal ground, the base of a straight ladder is 6 meters away from the base of a vertical pole. So there is a vertical pole. This is a vertical pole. This is a vertical pole, and the base of a straight ladder is 6 meters away from the base of a vertical pole. That means the ladder is somewhat like this. So it is 6 meters away from the base of a vertical pole. This is a vertical pole and this is the base of the ladder. So this is 6 meters away. 6 meters away from the vertical pole. The ladder makes an angle of 45 degree to the horizontal. 45-degree angle. If the ladder is resting at a point located at 1/5 of the height of the pole from bottom. So from bottom it is at the 1/5 of the height. So total height is h. If the total height is h, this is the total height which is h. So this is at the 1/5 height. So the height of the pole is, so what is tan 45 degree is h by 5 by 6. So h would be 30. Very easy question. In 10th class we used to solve these kind of problems, right? So just simple trigo used, right? Simple trigonometry is used. A pole is there, a ladder is there which is inclined at 45 degree, making an angle of 45 degree, 6 meter away. That means this height will also be 6 meter. That is h by 5, total height of 1/5 part of total height. So what will be the total height? Total height will be 30 meter. So option C is correct. Now if E is 10, that means this is the fifth letter, the value is 10. J is 10th letter, value is 20. O is 15th letter, value is 30. And T is 20th letter, value is 40. You can check. E is at 5, J, F, G, H, I, J, 10. O will be at 15. Okay. So what will be the value of P plus E plus S plus T? So we can see that E is 10. Check for P. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. P is at 16. So it will be 32. T is at 40. What will be S at? If T is at 40, that means S will be at 38. Because S comes before T. That means T is at 20, that means S will be at 19. So 19 into 38. So 38 plus 32 will be 70, 80, 120 will be the answer. Total will be 120. C is correct one. The CEO's decision to quit was as shocking to the board as it was to me. So to me. It was shocking. It was as shocking as it was to him. He, him. For he, him. For I, me. It was shocking to me. It was shocking to me. Okay. So me would come here. Basic English. Let's see this question. So the new cotton technology, Bolgard 2. This is a new cotton technology, Bolgard 2, with herbicide tolerant traits. I don't know the meaning of anything. Okay, still I will solve the problem. How I will solve that? Let's check that. The new cotton technology, Bolgard 2, with herbicide tolerant traits, has developed into a thriving business in India. Thriving business means the business which is expanding in India. Okay, so thriving business means the business that is expanding in India. However, the commercial use of this technology is not legal. The commercial use of this technology is not legal in India. Notwithstanding that, notwithstanding means nevertheless. Nevertheless means still like it is not legal, still something is happening. It is not legal, still something is happening. Fir bhi, in Hindi we will call that fir bhi. So the commercial use of this technology is not legal in India. Notwithstanding that, that means still reports indicate that herbicide tolerant BT cotton had been purchased by the farmers. It is not legal, still the farmers are purchasing it, that too at a higher rate, at an average 200 rupees more than the control price of ordinary cotton, and planted in 15% of the cotton growing area in 2017 Kharif season. Now we don't know why they are buying it. The reason is not mentioned. They are saying that there is this new cotton technology, Bolgard 2. It has some herbicide tolerant traits. Okay, this new technology has some herbicide tolerant traits, and this business is thriving in India, but this is not legal. Still some farmers are buying this herbicide tolerant BT cotton. It is not legal, still they are buying. That too at a higher price. Why they are buying, this is not mentioned. So what can be inferred? Farmer wants to access to the new technology if India benefits from it. If India is benefiting from it, why it would be legal? Why it would be illegal? Okay, so India is not benefiting from it. That's why it is illegal. So this is not the point. Farmer wants to access to new technology even if it is not legal. Yeah, this is what they are doing. They are accessing this new technology even if it is not legal. So this is the correct form option. Farmer wants to access the new technology for experimental purpose? No. Farmer wants to access the new technology by paying high price? No, they don't want to. It is this paragraph is saying that they are accessing the new technology by paying the high price, but it is not their will. It is not something that they want. They are getting it for a higher price. Why they are getting it for a higher price? Because that is illegal in India. So whatever that is illegal, that will be of higher price, right? Cigarette is only 10 rupees. Why? Because it is legal. And something that I can't take that name, that is illegal. And that's of very high price. Why that is of very high price? Because that is illegal. So farmer wants to access the new technology by paying the high price? No, this is not the case. They are paying the high price because that is illegal. So this is not inferred. So the only thing that is inferred is farmer want to access the new technology even if it is not legal. So the word notwithstanding that it is not legal, still this herbicide tolerant BT cotton has been purchased by the farmers. Okay. Let's see the next question. Seventh one. In sports academy of 300 people, 105 play only cricket. 105 play only cricket. 70 play only hockey. And 50 play only, and 50 play only football. So 105 only play cricket. So 105 will be these much guys. Those who only play cricket. And then 70 play hockey. 70 play hockey. Only these many guys. And then 50 play football. 50 play football. Only these many guys. These many guys play football. Now they are saying that 25 play both cricket and hockey. 25 guys. This will include 25. 15 play both hockey and football. Both hockey and football. This will include 15. And 30 play both cricket and football. 30 play both cricket and football. This will include 30 people. And rest of them play all three sports. Okay, rest of them play all three sports. What is the percentage of people who play at least two sports? Now this question is asked. Now people will be able to solve this problem, but they will take a lot of time. Now the thing is, these many people play only cricket. These many people play only football. These many people play only hockey. And they are saying that these many play hockey, football, these many play cricket, hockey, and these many play cricket and football, and rest all plays all three. So that means all 300 people play something. That means all 300 people play something. They are saying that these many play these many play these many play these two, these many play these two, these many they play these two, and rest of them play all three sports. That means all the 300 people play something. All 300 people at least play one sport. At least play one sport. So that means they play something. Now there are these one people who play only one sport. People who play only one sport. Those people are 105 only play cricket, 70 only play hockey, and 50 only play football. So these many people are there. That means these are 225 people. So 225 people are there who play only one sport. That means rest of the people play at least two sport. Are you getting my point? 220 people play only one sport. That means 300 minus 225. Rest 75 people play either two sport or three sports. So at least two sports they play. They can play three sports as well, but at least two sports they play. So how many people are there who play at least two sports? What is the percentage of people who play at least two sports? So they are 300 minus 225. So they are 75 people. So this was the most important line. The rest of them play all three sports. That means all 300 are involved. All 300 people are involved. So if all 300 people are involved and 225 play only one sport, then rest of the people at least play two sports. So 75 people are there who play two or more than two. So what is the percentage? 75 by 300. So it would be 25%. 25% of people play all three sports. Not all three sports, two or more than two. So 25% of the people are those who play two or more than two sports. So this is how we will be solving this problem. Okay, let's move on to the next one. You have to read this paragraph and then you need to tell what does arrived mean. Here, what does arrived mean? Okay, so let's read it and then I will give you an example. What does it mean? So the increasing interest in tribal characters might be a mere coincidence, but the timing is of interest. None of this, though, is to say that the tribal hero has arrived in Hindi cinema. They have arrived in Hindi cinema, or that the new crop of characters represent the acceptance of tribal characters in the industry. The film and characters are few to be described as a pattern. So the line of interest for us is that the tribal hero has arrived in Hindi cinema. Have you heard this term arrived in? I will say this line. PrepFusion has arrived in gate industry. PrepFusion has arrived in gate industry. That means now people are acknowledging that PrepFusion channel is also there. I am saying that PrepFusion has arrived in gate industry. That means people are acknowledging that PrepFusion channel is there for gate preparation. Now people know that PrepFusion channel is there. This is what it means. The tribal hero has arrived in Hindi cinema. That means they have attained a status. that people now know that tribal heroes are there in Hindi cinema. So the people who watch Hindi cinema, they will know about tribal heroes. So this term arrived in that that means Shubman Gill has scored a 200. He has arrived into the international cricket. So that means he has attained a status now, that he has arrived into the international cricket. So that's what it means, attained a status. So the tribal hero has attained a status in Hindi cinema. So this is what arrived mean here. Okay, attaining a status. Went to a place, no. Came to a conclusion, no. Reached a terminus. Terminus. I don't know the meaning of this. That also we don't know. Okay, so attained a status. This is what it means. Now this question: a square has side 5 centimeters smaller than the side of second square. Okay, so there are two squares. There are two squares. So there are two squares. If one of them has a side x, one of them has a side x, the other one has side 5 centimeter less, right? 5 centimeter less. The area of the largest square is 4 times of the area of the smaller square. Area of the largest square will be x square. Area of the smaller will be x minus 5 square. That is 4 times more. So this area is 4 times more. So x square is 4 times of the area of the smaller one. What is the side of the largest square? So x value you need to find. That would be x equals to, if you take under root both of the side, 2 into x minus 5. So x will be 10 centimeter. That's it. So answer is 10 centimeter. Very straightforward question. These kind of question will be solved in 1 minute. But if you solve it without taking the root, by making that equations and all quadratic equation, then it will take time. But if you solve it directly like this, x is 10 centimeter. So the option would be C. Well and good. Let's move on to the next problem. This will be the last problem and we are done with GATE 2019 PYQs, and I hope you liked the lecture. Okay, if you liked it, please do click on the like and click on subscribe button as well, and do share it with your friends. Okay, I am again and again saying this because we need subscriber for the motivation, right? Yeah. So P, Q, R, S, T are related and belong to the same family. P is the brother of S. P and S are brother sister. So I can write sibling. P and S are siblings. Q is the wife of P. So Q and wife are, sorry, Q is the wife of, Q is the wife of P. That means she is the wife and he is the husband. So he is a guy. P is a guy. Husband. R and T are the children of siblings P and S respectively. So R is the children of this guy and T is the children of this guy. R and T are the children of P and S respectively. Which one of the following statement is necessarily false? Okay, necessarily false. S is the aunt of R. If she is a girl, S can be girl or boy. We don't know. P will be a boy, that's for sure. Q will be a girl, that's for sure. P can be boy as well or girl as well. It is not given. S can be boy or girl, anything. R can be boy or girl, anything. T can be girl or boy, anything. Okay, so that is not fixed. So S is the aunt of R. Yeah, that is the possibility. If S is a girl, she will be aunt of R, right? Aunt of R. What do they mean by aunt? Aunt means bua. Bua. We call in Hindi bua. So she will be the bua. Okay, because the sister of our father is our aunt. Bua we call that in Hindi. S is the aunt of T. S is the aunt of T. S can be either mother or father. If S is a boy, he will be the father of T. And if S is a girl, he will be mother of T. Right? So in no meaning she can be the aunt of T. So this option is never possible. So S can never be the aunt of T. S is the sister-in-law of Q. S is sister-in-law of Q. Yeah, if she is a girl, if S is a girl, she will be sister-in-law of Q. Right? Nanand. I guess Nanand we call it. In Hindi we call it Nanand only. So Yes, she will be sister-in-law of Q. That's correct. And S is the brother of P. Yeah, he can be brother of P as well. If he is a boy, he will be brother of P because both are siblings. So S will be brother of P, right? So only impossible option is B. So B is the correct answer. Now we are done with 2019 gate PYQs, and do share it with your friends. In the last video we received many positive comments that please make videos, and that was a very good video that helped you a lot. So these kind of problem solving skills that I am giving here, I am not applying any formula. I am telling you how to solve the problem of English, how to approach a problem where you don't know anything. These kind of things I am telling. So I hope you are enjoying the lecture. If you are enjoying, please do comment down. This is what our motivation is. This is the motivation of making all the videos after this much of corporate stress, corporate work. We go to the office at 10, come back at 7, then we record the video at night, then we go to sleep. This is our cycle. Okay, so please do comment down. So that would give us motivation. You gave me so much of motivation in just one day only. I recorded all the session. Yesterday night I started. Yesterday night I started, and by today I have completed all the 2019 PYQs. So just because of the comments that I got, that it was a very good effort. So these kind of comments like motivates a lot. So yeah, do comment down, and it will help us a lot in making the content. Okay, thank you.